Chapter 47:24. Lin Xian was preparing to train. This way, he would be able to become even stronger. The moment he began to cultivate, the entire mountain changed. An even more terrifying aura surged towards him. It was as if it wanted to tear him apart. Lin Xian felt his scalp go numb. He gritted his teeth and comprehended for a day. Then, he left. Not long after he left, the entire mountain was enveloped by the terrifying aura and disappeared. Lin Xian was also chased by the storm. He realized that the heaven-devouring jar was shaking violently. Lin Xian felt that many cracks had appeared on his body. Not good. It seemed that he had committed some taboo. He quickly took out the heaven-devouring jar and used all his strength to protect it. The great dragon sword soul circled around his body and formed a battle armor. It released a terrifying dragon-shaped aura to help destroy the surrounding power. In the end, he escaped into the ancient bronze coffin. To hide from the storm, the terrifying power hit the ancient bronze coffin and made an earth-shattering sound. The entire ancient bronze coffin shook violently. Lin Xian was shocked. This power was too terrifying. Could it be that the ancient bronze coffin couldn't withstand it? Fortunately, although the ancient bronze coffin shook violently, it still withstood it. Just like that, 10 days passed. The people waiting outside were also shocked. They suddenly saw a terrifying eternal storm coming from Mount Eternal. It seemed to be able to tear everything apart. Outside, they felt their hair stand on end. They quickly retreated. At the same time, they were worried that the exalted immortals would be fine. They didn't know. They quickly retreated. After 10 days, the storm gradually subsided. These people's eyes were red. They wanted to investigate, but they didn't dare to go. They could only wait anxiously. 10 days later, Lin Xian walked out. He heaved a sigh of relief. The terrifying storm had disappeared. At the same time, Lin Xian realized that the 9 true dragons were also shaking violently. They rose into the air, broke through the void with the ancient bronze coffin, and left again. Were they leaving? Lin Xian quickly retreated. He was shocked. He didn't know where the true dragons were going with the ancient bronze coffin this time. The Supreme Elder of the Hall of Eternal Life, as well as the people from the Fire God Palace and the Gu family, saw this scene. Immediately, they knelt on the ground and kowtowed. At the same time, someone asked, "Is the Ascendant Immortal leaving?" That was very likely. Could it be that something had happened inside? They did not know. There were even some who wanted to follow the 9-headed true dragon, but they were thrown off in an instant. That aura made it so that even the great saints could not get close. Inside Mount Eternal, Lin Xian also took a deep breath. It seemed that he had to be careful in the future. Otherwise, if he encountered that kind of black storm again, he wouldn't be able to avoid it. Next up, Lin Xian cultivated the longevity undying art while collecting the remaining 2 spiritual herbs. Finally, after half a year, he succeeded and prepared to leave. The people outside had been waiting bitterly for nearly a year. Ever since the Ascendant Immortal entered, he had yet to come out. There was no news at all. In particular, the appearance of the 9 dragons pulling the coffin and the inextinguishable storm made them extremely worried. Everyone thought that Lin Xian might have died or left. However, on this day, a figure walked out of Mount Eternal and made everyone's eyes light up. It was the Ascendant Immortal. Huolinger exclaimed. Su Lai, Gu Li, and the others also ran over and shouted, "Elder, it's the Ascendant Immortal. The Ascendant Immortal has come out." That's great. The Supreme Elders of the Longevity Hall, Fire God Palace, and Gu family also rushed over and asked, "How is it, Ascendant Immortal?" Lin Xian said, "I found all the things you want." He threw a storage ring outside while he was still inside Mount Eternal. After all, he also had to be on guard against these people. Who knew if these people had seen through his identity? After the Supreme Elder of the Longevity Hall took the storage ring, he checked it and 5 spiritual herbs flew out. Great, it's real. He reached out his palm and grabbed one of them. In addition, the Fire God Palace and Gu family also grabbed the other 2. The remaining 2 were for the other clans and sections. As for how they would be divided, it was none of Lin Xian's business. The Supreme Elders of the Longevity Hall were pleasantly surprised. They said, Ascendant Immortal, please come back with me. We'll definitely treat you well. If they could stay in the sect for the rest of their lives, it would be a priceless treasure for them. However, Lin Xian shook his head. No, Mount Eternal is still useful to me. I'm going to cultivate here for a while. Everyone was reluctant to see Lin Xian leave. However, Lin Xian insisted. In the end, everyone had no choice but to nod. The Supreme Elder said, Ascendant Immortal, if you need any help in the future, just tell us. We'll do anything. The others also nodded. Lin Xian said with a smile, I won't be polite when I need you. After saying that, he turned and walked inside. Soon, his figure disappeared. Looking at this scene, some people's eyes flickered. One person said, Is he really an immortal? As soon as this was said, Huolinger, Su Lai, and the others were shocked. However, another great sage said, Is it important to us whether he's an immortal or not? He can enter Mount Eternal and help us get what we want. Then he's an immortal. Obviously, these people had suspected Lin Xian. However, since Lin Xian could enter Mount Eternal, both sides seemed to have reached some kind of tacit agreement. They didn't expose him. The Supreme Elder of the Longevity Hall looked at Su Lai and the others and said, It doesn't matter whether he's an immortal or not. When you meet him in the future, you have to treat him with the same respect as you treat me. If you dare to challenge him, don't blame me for slapping you to death. Yes, we know. Su Lai and the others quickly responded. The experts of the other sects also warned their juniors. Then, they soared into the sky and left. Lin Xian entered Mount Eternal and didn't dare to go too far. He sat down cross-legged in a place. He used the heaven-devouring jar and the great dragon sword to protect himself. Then, he began to cultivate the longevity immortality technique. Lin Xian had been cultivating the longevity secret art. The longevity secret art and the longevity immortality technique were very similar. Therefore, Lin Xian's cultivation of the longevity immortality technique was very fast. However, in addition to the strong vitality, there was an additional kind of indestructible power. This kind of power was what Lin Xian wanted to obtain at the moment. Moreover, when the longevity immortality technique was cultivated to a certain extent, it could form a strange divine ability. For example, it could form the longevity armor and the eternal bell. Lin Xian's strength was also steadily increasing. A year later, he left Mount Eternal and flew into the distance. A year's time was very short for these experts. It passed in the blink of an eye. Taiching Ancient City. However, there had been a huge change in the past year. A year ago, the Purple Mansion was attacked by many experts and the Heavenly Court. It was severely damaged. In addition, the power of the seal was broken, and they almost had to close the mountain gate again. In the end, they still sealed the seal. The strength of the Purple Mansion was also greatly damaged. It was no longer as arrogant as before and began to recuperate. Chapter 47:25. Other than the Purple Mansion, there was another sect that was extremely unlucky. That was the Serene Cloud sect. The Serene Cloud sect had also suffered heavy losses this time. Even their sect leader was heavily injured. It was said that he was in seclusion, in a life and death situation. The other sects had more or less lost their geniuses and elders. However, compared to the Serene Cloud sect and the Purple Mansion, their situation was much better. In a year's time, the storm had weakened a lot. However, there were still people talking about the battle a year ago. There were even many people talking about Lin Xian and the mysterious Heavenly Court. Other than that, there was also the foundation of the Purple Mansion. Geniuses from thousands of years ago and experts from tens of thousands of years ago. No one knew what the Purple Mansion was planning. Lin Xian came to the outside of Taiching Ancient City. His eyes flickered. He had returned this time. He was preparing to return to the Pill Cauldron sect. However, at this moment, he frowned. He felt that someone was watching him. His figure flashed, and he was about to leave. However, the void was cut, and the space tunnel was broken. A figure stopped him. Su Cheng quickly retreated. He activated the Void Beast and retreated far away. Damn it! Someone was waiting for him in Taiching Ancient City. Could it be that they were here to kill him? The Void Beast tore open the void with him and escaped far away. However, In the next moment, he felt that he had not shaken off the other party. A huge barrier formed around the world. It seemed to have sealed everything. Even teleportation could not be done. At the same time, a laughter sounded in his ear. "You don't have to leave. Let's chat." Lin Xin stopped. His face was cold. In front of him, a woman in a phoenix robe walked out. She had a smile on her face, but her eyes were extremely cold. She had an incomparable aura, as if she was a god of the 9 heavens. After seeing her, Lin Xin's face turned ugly. He could fight against others, but he could not because she was the Wind Clan's clan leader. "Senior, as the clan leader of a clan of the ancients, you have such a high status. You think too highly of me. Lin Gongzi, you're too humble. Although I'm the clan leader, I don't dare to look down on you. A year ago, you led so many saints to attack the Purple Mansion. You were almost stronger than the remote antiquity families." Lin Xin furrowed his brows. He asked, "Senior, why are you looking for me?" As he spoke, he was secretly on guard. If the other party really wanted to suppress him, he would have to escape even if he had to risk his life. "Sir, don't worry. I just want to invite you to the Wind Clan as a guest. When you first came to my Wind Clan, we didn't treat you well. This time, we have to make it up to you. Young master, please don't refuse. To be a guest? Would the other party be so kind?" Lin Xin sneered inwardly. He said, Senior Feng was the leader of a clan and had a myriad of affairs to attend to every day. He should have a lot of things to deal with. I won't disturb Senior anymore. Furthermore, I have my own matters to attend to, so I won't be going to your clan. What a joke. Who knew what these people were thinking? It seems like young Master Lin is still angry with us. If you feel that we didn't treat you well, then why are you still angry? Don't worry, I'll make it up to you this time. After saying that, the aura of the Wind Clan leader became even more terrifying. Lin Xin felt as if the bones in his body were about to crack. Damn it, the other party was threatening him. He could imagine that if he refused again, the other party would probably use some methods. Thinking of this, he sighed. He really wasn't a match for such a powerful clan leader. Forget it, the other party didn't directly attack him, which meant that there was indeed some room to maneuver. He'd better see what this guy wanted to do first. So in the end, he had no choice but to nod and agree. Very good. The young master's decision was very smart. The Wind Clan leader smiled. Then, he brought Lin Xin back to Taiching Ancient City. Wind Clan. Divine islands flew in the sky one after another. This strange scene was the characteristic of the Wind Clan. In the Wind Clan, the patriarch brought Lin Xin to a divine island. After Lin Xin came down, he attracted the attention of countless people. It was this kid. Many people were stunned, and some people's faces darkened. What was going on? Did this kid come to their place and behave atrociously? Many people walked over. However, at this moment, a woman descended from the sky and shouted coldly, "Don't be rude. Lin Gongzi is an important guest that I invited." Clan leader. Countless people were shocked and quickly bowed. Seeing the clan leader, they were also shocked. This guy was actually invited by the clan leader. It was really unbelievable. Lin Gongzi would rest here first. The Wind Clan leader looked around and said, "Take good care of Lin Gongzi. If there's any neglect, don't blame me for punishing him with the clan rules." The surrounding people were terrified and hurriedly nodded. The leader was at ease. The Wind Clan leader left and went to another divine island. He quickly discussed with some elders. On the other side, Lin Xin was invited to a palace. The surrounding young disciples were all careful with him. They were afraid of offending him. Lin Xin was puzzled. What were these Wind Clan people planning? He really didn't know. 2 days later, several elders came here. Looking at Lin Xin, they kept nodding. A young genius. Although he wasn't a genius disciple of a big family or sect, his talent and strength weren't weak at all. The 9 young divine body was comparable to the ancient desolate body. This young friend was the descendant of the great dragon and his attack power was unparalleled. The elders looked at Lin Xin and kept nodding. Lin Xin felt his hair stand on end. These old guys couldn't be thinking of making a move, right? Young master, you're not young anymore. I wonder if you can get married? Our Wind Clan is a clan of the ancients with a special bloodline. There are many talented girls in the clan. Young master, are you interested in any of them? Damn, the Wind Clan was actually thinking of this? Lin Xian was surprised. Then he said, there's no need to trouble the seniors with this matter. I can handle it myself. It seemed that Lin Gongzi had harmed Xiao. Don't worry. The talented girls of our Wind Clan will definitely be able to catch the young master's eye. After saying that, she waved her hand and two women walked in. These two women were beautiful and their auras were also very strong. They were indeed talented girls. After the two came in, the elders laughed and said, Young master, are you satisfied? Although these people were laughing, their words seemed to carry an order. There was no room for negotiation. Lin Xian's face darkened. Even if these people wanted to form a marriage alliance, they were looking down on him too much. Did they really think that he was someone who could be ordered and controlled? Thinking of this, Lin Xian's face also darkened. He said coldly, I understand what senior means. The Wind Clan wants to form a marriage alliance with me. I'm not someone who can catch the eye of just anyone. Although these two fairies are not bad, I'm not interested in them. If they really want to form a marriage alliance with me, let the Wind Phoenix clan come over. Chapter 47-26. Hearing that Lin Xian was not interested in them, the faces of the two geniuses turned extremely ugly. They gritted their teeth and looked at Lin Xian with murderous intent in their eyes. Lin Xian ignored them and looked at the elders instead. Those elders also looked hesitant. Lin Xian smiled. Why? Not willing? Seems like the Wind Clan isn't sincere. Since that's the case, I'm leaving. Lin Xian turned the tables. He wanted to see what these people would do. The elders discussed and said, We have to discuss this matter. Young master, please stay here for a few days. After saying that, the elders left with the two heaven's favored daughters. Lin Xian looked at the backs of these people and sneered. These people were plotting against him. However, he wouldn't give in so easily. Therefore, not long after these elders left, Lin Xian left to tour around the island. Lin Xian saw a girl and said, Hey, lead the way. I want to see Phoenix. Yes, that girl was also a disciple of the Wind Clan. When she saw Lin Xian, a trace of fear appeared in her eyes. Although the other party's tone made her angry, she didn't dare to resist. Previously, it was the clan leader who personally ordered that she should treat him with respect. Otherwise, she would be punished according to the clan rules. The girl quickly led the way in front. Lin Xian followed behind. They flew past several islands and finally stopped on a huge island. The power of heaven and earth on this island was very rich. It was obviously a treasured place for cultivation. There were also many young geniuses coming and going. When those people saw Lin Xian, their expressions changed. What is this kid doing here? Lin Xian looked at those people and said, Where is Phoenix? Seeing that those people didn't answer, Lin Xian looked at the girl again and said, Continue to lead the way. That girl led Lin Xian to the front. There was a continuous mountain range in front of them, and there were caves in the mountain range. She stopped and said, Sister Phoenix is inside. After that, she quickly ran away. Is it inside? Lin Xian looked at the cave abode in front of him and shouted. The phoenix came out. His voice was like thunder as it spread out in all directions. Immediately, the surrounding array flickered and shook. Large cracks even appeared in the void. The expression of the genius disciples on the mythical island changed. Damn brat, what are you doing? Feng Huang is cultivating. Do you want her to go berserk? Lin Xian paid no attention to the people around him and continued to shout. His voice finally reached the inside of the cave. Inside the cave, Feng Huang opened her eyes and frowned. The next moment, she flew out and shouted coldly, Who dares to disturb my cultivation? Her body emitted a terrifying power of wind, which transformed into a wind sword and pierced through the 9 heavens. When she saw Lin Xian, she frowned. It's you. She was too shocked. Was this guy attacking their Wind Clan? Are you here to behave atrociously? Previously, she had been in seclusion and did not know that Lin Xian had been brought back by the Wind Clan leader. You finally came out. Lin Xian walked up with a smile and took her into his arms. This scene stunned the surrounding disciples of the Wind Clan. What did this guy do? One had to know that Feng Huang was a supreme goddess in their eyes. She was the heavenly lady of their dreams, but they had never dared to cross the line. It seemed that no one could enter Feng Huang's eyes. But now, this brat dared to be rude to their heavenly lady. It was really unbearable. Feng Huang was also stunned. She did not expect Lin Xian to be so bold. The next moment, she roared crazily. A terrifying power came from her body and formed a storm. It directly shook off Lin Xian's arm and flew into the distance. She flew into the air and kept roaring. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you. Kill me? Lin Xian laughed. Are you going to kill your husband? If this spread out, it would not be good. Feng Huang was so angry that she vomited blood. Whose husband are you? Damn brat, if you dare to speak nonsense again, do you believe that I won't kill you? The surrounding people also roared. Damn it, are you challenging the Wind Clan? Brat, don't think that you can be arrogant here. The Wind Clan is not a place where you can behave atrociously. The people around him went crazy and also walked up to him. It seemed that they wanted to fight. However, no one dared to act rashly. Lin Xian looked at them and sneered. Why? Do you want to fight me? Do you want to be punished by the sect rules? Damn it. The surrounding people vomited blood and could not help but take a few steps back. Feng Huang was also surprised when she saw this scene. How could it be? When did the disciples of the Wind Clan become so timid? Lin Xian looked at Feng Huang in the sky and waved with a smile. Let's go. Let's go inside the cave. Damn it. You still dare to talk. Feng Huang kept roaring and slashed with his blade. The agile blade turned into a terrifying blade light and came down from the sky. However, Lin Xian easily dodged it. I can't tell that your strength has improved during this period of time. However, it's still far from enough. Do you want me to teach you how to cultivate? Damn it. Wind Phoenix looked around and said, All of you, attack and kill him. The surrounding people hesitated. Lin Xian smiled and said, Don't make things difficult for them. I was brought back by your clan leader personally. Your clan leader has given an order to treat me like how you treat her. Do you think these people will dare to fight me? This is impossible. Is the clan leader of the Wind Clan crazy? How can he be so good to this brat? Lin Xian smiled and said, Why is it impossible? Moreover, your clan leader personally came to propose marriage to me. I came to look for you because I saw their sincere attitude. Otherwise, do you think you can enter my eyes? Lin Xian said with a look of disdain. Hearing this, Feng Huang was so angry that she almost fainted. Damn it, he doesn't like her? What kind of joke is this? The surrounding people were also gritting their teeth. However, they seemed to have heard the news. Humph, I don't believe it. Nonsense. Feng Huang gritted her teeth. Today, I will kill you personally. Let me see if the clan leader will attack me. After saying that, she slapped her palm over. God of Wind Seal. A terrifying palm descended from the sky with the power of the wind. It's useless. You can't defeat me. Lin Xian stretched out his palm, and a huge golden palm descended from the sky like the sun god. It directly grabbed the storm that filled the sky and suppressed it. Damn it. Feng Huang grabbed one of Feng Huang's hands, and she couldn't resist at all. She was really shocked. She didn't hold back in the previous attack. Originally, she thought that even if she couldn't defeat Feng Huang, they would be evenly matched. Who would have thought that she would be suppressed so easily? Is the gap between us really that big? Although she knew that Feng Huang was strong, her strength had improved by leaps and bounds in the past year. Damn it! Great wilderness hunter hand. His other hand continued to weave seals, tearing a crack in the air as he charged at Lin Xian. Chapter 47-27. How terrifying. Phoenix was indeed the top genius of the Wind Clan. She had cultivated the great wind heaven-splitting palm to such an extent in just over a year. She had far surpassed them. The surrounding Wind Clan members were amazed when they saw this scene. However, Lin Xian laughed. You haven't mastered it yet. Let me show you what the true great desolate heaven-splitting palm is. He also formed a seal with one hand and waved his hand. An even more terrifying palm flew out. This power was even more terrifying than Phoenix's, so Phoenix was suppressed again. Damn it, how could it be like this? Phoenix gritted her teeth in disbelief. The others were also shocked. Did Lin Xian's talent really surpass the top genius of their clan? Lin Xian said, "You're not bad, but compared to Feng Shaoqing from 5,000 years ago, you're still a little lacking. Even Feng Shaoqing couldn't beat me, let alone you." Phoenix gritted her teeth. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He firmly suppressed her. At the same time, he also understood why the Wind Clan wanted to form a marriage alliance with him. Because the Wind Clan's current situation wasn't too good. The top genius, Phoenix, used to be the top, but now it seemed that she was a little behind. After all, she didn't have an ancient body. Compared to Yi Wudao and Guangming, she was a little lacking. In addition, his recent rise and the emergence of a few top geniuses from thousands of years ago made the Wind Clan feel even more pressure. In fact, he guessed right. The Wind Clan was very anxious, so they came to find him. Another reason was that the Wind Clan had taken a fancy to Lin Xian. He had too many treasures on him. At this moment, an angry shout came from afar. "Stop!" The void split open, and an elder came nearby. A powerful aura enveloped Lin Xian. He didn't want to hurt Phoenix. The terrifying power of the wind turned into a storm and swept towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. His figure flickered and disappeared in an instant, appearing in another direction. "What, are you going to attack me?" "Lin Gongzi, you misunderstood. We didn't mean that. But why did you attack Phoenix?" The other elders rushed over to smooth things over. Lin Xian said, "Don't you want to form a marriage alliance?" "Of course, I'm here for the Phoenix Alliance." "Elder Zhang, what is the meaning of this? Was what this kid said true?" Phoenix gritted her teeth. She would never agree to it. "We're still discussing this matter. Isn't Lin Gongzi being too impatient?" Then, they looked at Phoenix and said, "Come with us." After that, they left with Phoenix. An elder personally looked at Lin Xian and said, "Lin Gongzi, I hope you can cultivate well, and don't let such a misunderstanding happen again." There was a hint of urgency in his eyes. After that, he personally escorted Lin Xian back to his residence. Then, he ordered many guards to protect Lin Xian's safety. In reality, he was keeping an eye on Lin Xian so that he wouldn't go out again. On the other side, Feng Huang came to a palace and said, "Clan leader, do you want me to marry?" "I disagree." Phoenix gritted her teeth and said, "Even if it's a marriage alliance, it can't be with that brat." The clan leader of the Wind Clan sighed. "Don't worry, Feng won't be yours. You will be the next clan leader." Although Lin Xian is powerful and talented and has many trump cards, he is still a Purple Mansion disciple. He is recognized as someone from the immortal graveyard. He has no future. We want to rope him in because of his treasures. We don't really want him to join our clan. Don't worry about this." Hearing this, Phoenix finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Clan leader, what should we do next?" An elder asked. That kid didn't seem to agree so easily. Today, he looked for Phoenix and seemed to want to turn the tables. Another elder snorted. "If he doesn't agree, it's not up to him. This is our Wind Clan. We have the final say. Since he doesn't want to, then don't blame us for being rude. Clan leader, there's no need to be polite with him. Just search his soul." "That's right. We don't want his life. We just want his cultivation method. Even if we get it, we won't kill him. When the time comes, will the heavenly court really be our enemy? At most, we'll stand on the Purple Mansion disciples' side and see what the heavenly court can do to us." At this time, the people of the Wind Clan no longer hid their intentions. Their eyes were filled with cold, murderous intent. The clan leader of the Wind Clan thought for a moment and then nodded. "Okay, let's do it. But be careful. We only need to get the inheritance of the divine body of Nine Yang. We can't kill him. As for injuries, it's inevitable." The clan leader of the Wind Clan gave the bottom line: not to kill Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian probably wouldn't end well. The other elders took a deep breath. Even Phoenix's eyes were burning. The divine body of Nine Yang was not weaker than the sacred body of the ancients. If they could cultivate it, it would be equivalent to the Wind Clan having another body of the ancients. There might even be more than one. They could create many kinds of bodies of the ancients. In that way, the Wind Clan would be extremely powerful. These people discussed again, and at the same time, they sealed the news and even activated a large array in the entire Wind Clan. At this time, only people could enter and not leave. The news must not be spread. Otherwise, there would be big trouble. Lin Xian sat in the residence, surrounded by many guards. He didn't go out again. Instead, he quietly cultivated the art of immortality. At this moment, he was already familiar with it. When he cast the incantation, the art of immortality appeared on his body, giving him a strong vitality. Now that he was recovering, his speed was more than twice as fast as before. On this day, he opened his eyes because he could feel that someone was coming, and it was a powerful elder. Sure enough, it didn't take long for a few figures to descend from the sky into his courtyard. Then, they walked in with a smile. Lin Gongzi, how have you been living recently? Not bad, Lin Xian said lightly. Then, he looked ahead and asked, have you thought about it? Do you want to marry Phoenix to me? The elders smiled and said, we're still discussing it, but Phoenix might be about to break through soon. We need to make a few cauldrons of pills for her. Since you like her so much, why don't you contribute? You want me to make pills? Lin Xian shook his head. I don't know how to. Why would we bother you to make pills? Leave this kind of thing to us. However, you need to provide a bit of powerful sacred blood. This way, the grade of the pills can be raised. Thinking about it, it would be easier for Phoenix to break through then. An elder took out a gourd from his storage ring and said, Lin Gongzi, please. Lin Xian was stunned. Then, his face darkened. These elders wanted his sacred blood. Were they targeting him? What kind of joke was this? He said coldly, I'm just a small sacred king. My blood isn't precious. There are many great sages in the Wind Clan, right? Aren't you a clan of the ancients? Your bloodline is so special. If you want to make pills, use your own blood. Chapter 47:28. Young Master, you don't have to be humble. You have a divine body, unlike the ancient, desolate body. Your God's blood is definitely the best spirit medicine. An elder stretched out his hand, forming a storm that covered the sky. It turned into chains and enveloped Lin Xian. Another elder formed a wind blade and slashed at Lin Xian's arm. Clang! An earth-shattering sound rang out. The wind blade was shattered, but Lin Xian's arm was not damaged. The elders nodded their heads in satisfaction. They looked at Lin Xian as if they were looking at a supreme treasure. As expected of the 9-yang divine body, its defense was really strong. Lin Xian was furious. What were these guys trying to do? Did they really think that he would be trampled on? He shouted coldly and activated his divine body, shattering the storm chains. At the same time, he slapped out with his palm. Those elders quickly dodged, but they did not leave. Instead, a shocking light burst out from their eyes. Young Master, why don't you sacrifice yourself to help us? Why? It seems that you have finally revealed your true face. Since that was the case, there was nothing to say. Lin Xian roared and charged over. The dragon elephant finger pointed out, and a terrifying power shattered the void in front of him. Although these elders were peak Saint Kings, they did not dare to fight alone. Attack together. They roared. Lin Xian opened the Taiji diagram and fought with them. At the same time, he took out the heaven-swallowing jar. A terrifying aura rose and fell. Those elders quickly retreated with ugly expressions. Lin Xian soared into the sky and tore the 9 heavens apart, wanting to escape. The situation was too strange. Previously, although he felt the coldness in these people's eyes, they still treated him with respect. But now, they had completely shed all pretense of cordiality and did not care about his feelings at all. They just wanted his life. Since that was the case, he would not stay here any longer. He would remember the Wind Clan. He would take revenge. He would let the Wind Clan know the consequences of trying to kill him. He soared into the sky and merged into the void, wanting to leave. However, at this moment, another voice sounded. Since young master is here, don't be in a hurry to leave. Offer some of your sacred blood to help the Wind Phoenix. As he spoke, a large hand descended. The terrifying aura of a supreme saint swept across the 9 heavens. The elders below sneered. It was their Taishang elder who had made a move. This was a great sage. How could the other party possibly contend against him? Lin Xian was forced back. His blood and qi roiled, and golden saint blood dripped down. The elders below hurriedly picked up the gourd to receive it. These were all precious treasures, and they couldn't be wasted. Lin Xian summoned his void beast, wanting to flee. However, he discovered that the Wind Clan had already activated a supreme grand formation. He had no way to escape. Another great saint descended and said, "You don't need to struggle. No one can get out." Lin Xian's expression turned extremely ugly. He said coldly, "Are you really going to attack me?" Thinking back to the scene in the Purple Mansion, "If you offend me, you will offend a large group of peerless sects and even the heavenly court. Can you bear the consequences?" "Young master, don't worry. We know that there are many experts behind you. We won't kill you. We just want to take a look at your inheritance." As he spoke, a piercing light appeared in the eyes of the Wind Clan's great saint, which pierced through Lin Xian. It seemed that he wanted to forcibly take Lin Xian's soul. Lin Xian could feel the immense pressure on his soul. His forehead was about to split open. With a roar, he activated his heavenly fate god eyes to the maximum. The terrifying power of reincarnation condensed into a golden eye that appeared in the 9 heavens to contend against the great saint. Lin Xian retreated, his face pale. The great saint's soul was bounced back. He was shocked. What a terrifying soul. A mere mid-stage Saint King could actually block my soul detection. It seems that you have a lot of inheritances. The heavens are really protecting my Wind Clan. With your inheritances, my Wind Clan will be several times stronger. The 2 great saints attacked. Lin Xian used the heaven-swallowing jar and the dragon sword soul to block, but he was also suppressed. These 2 things were treasures, but they required too much energy. With his strength, he could only protect himself. Another 2 great saints descended. For great saints, Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He was sealed by the 4 of them. Lin Xian roared. He took out 2 storage rings and crushed them. The dragon sword soul was summoned. With a slash, he broke the seal. But at this time, the Wind Clan's clan leader personally descended and looked ahead. Suppress. She used the Wind God seal. Vast power surged. At the same time, she used the legendary saint weapon. The dragon sword soul was suppressed and returned to Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian was suppressed and then taken away. In the Wind Clan's pagoda, Lin Xian's body was covered with seals and shackled by countless chains. The Wind Clan's clan leader walked over and said coldly, "Lin Gongzi, we don't want to kill you. We just want to obtain your 9 sons' inheritance. If you cooperate and hand it over, we'll send you away safely." Lin Xian laughed when he heard that. "I don't want to go against you. Why don't you take out the Wind Clan's inheritance and let me have a look?" The Supreme Elder snorted coldly. "Our Wind Clan's inheritance is not something you can see just because you want to." Lin Xian also stopped smiling and shouted coldly, "You know that the core inheritance can't be seen. Then why can you see the 9 sons' inheritance whenever you want to? Have you asked for my permission? Don't tell me you don't understand this logic." This kid is really sharp-tongued. The Wind Clan's Supreme Elder was slapped in the face, and his face turned ugly. He said, "Today, you can't escape even if you talk until the sky breaks. If you don't cooperate, don't blame us for taking your soul. When you turn into an idiot, don't blame us." As he said that, 2 great saints walked over. Their powerful soul power was about to enter. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Although I've already formed a clone before coming here, if I suffer any losses, your Wind Clan will be destroyed." "What? There's a clone outside?" The 2 great saints stopped and looked at the Wind Clan's patriarch. The Wind Clan's patriarch also frowned. Why didn't I notice it? Are you lying to me?" Lin Xian sneered. "My clone isn't in Taiching Ancient City. Besides, Taiching Ancient City has a purple mansion. Do you think I didn't make preparations?" He sneered, but he was nervous because he didn't have a clone. However, this way, the other party would definitely not dare to touch him. Is the patriarch real or fake? The great saints came over to discuss. The Wind Clan's patriarch also frowned. She really didn't know about the clone. She felt that it was very likely to be fake and didn't dare to take the risk. In the end, she said not to kill him and think of other ways. The elders discussed among themselves, and without transmitting their voices, they directly spoke their minds. Lin Xian's expression was ugly. The other party dared to say such words in front of him. It meant that they didn't intend to let him out until they obtained the 9 sons' inheritance. Thinking of this, his expression was incomparably cold. This was the biggest crisis he had ever encountered. Chapter 47:29. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He had to make 2 plans. First, he had to spread the news and let the people outside save him. Second, he had to protect himself. After all, this was the Wind Clan's territory. A clan of the ancients was too powerful. The number of great sages wasn't something he could fight against, not to mention that they had a sacred weapon. While Lin Xian was thinking of a countermeasure, the Wind Clan was also thinking of a countermeasure. The great sages discussed among themselves. Some suggested that they should just search his soul forcefully. It wouldn't kill him anyway. Another person said that they couldn't. His soul was very strong, and he had a strange eye technique. If they really put him in a dead end, he would probably resort to a life and death struggle. At that time, they wouldn't be able to get anything. If he really died here, the heavenly court wouldn't let them off. What should we do? Someone gritted his teeth. Another elder said, "Isn't it simple? He's in our hands now. We'll seal the news and no one will know. That way, we'll have time to prepare. I know of a formation that can not only search souls, but also form an absolute suppression. Even a great sage's soul wouldn't be able to resist. Don't even think about destroying your own soul. Do you think he'll be able to resist with this formation? Great, what are we waiting for? Hurry up and use it." The great sage said, "I saw this formation in an ancient book. It's a bit troublesome to use and requires a lot of natural treasures. We have to plan it well. We should be able to use it in a month or 2. He hurriedly sent someone to prepare. Yi Wudao was still in the Wind Clan. However, he had been in seclusion before. When he came out, he felt that something was wrong. He secretly asked around and found out that the Wind Clan had captured Lin Xian. This made him frown. He walked up and found the Wind Clan's leader. He said, "Senior, I heard that you captured Lin Xian. Is there a misunderstanding? Lin Xian is my friend. Is he from the Wind Clan? Let him go for the sake of the Yi clan." "Nephew Yi, that's not right. I don't know where you got the news, but we don't dare to provoke Lin Gongzi. You must have heard wrongly. Why would clan leader Feng admit it?" Leaf Dao Denier opened his mouth to say something, but the Wind Chief cut him off. "Enough, young Sir Leaf. Go back and cultivate. I still have some things to do, so I won't accompany you." With that, he left, and the elders escorted Leaf Dao Denier back to his residence. Furthermore, many guards had been placed around the cave residence, saying that they were there to ensure his safety. Leaf Dao Denier frowned. Damn it, it seemed the information he'd been given was true. These people from the Wind Clan already wanted to control him? His expression was cold. With his status, the Wind Clan would not dare to attack him. However, he didn't dare to waste any more time. He was afraid that Lin Xian would really be in danger if he wasted too much time. That night, he secretly left the Wind Clan. Of course, he left a clone in his residence to prevent the people of the Wind Clan from finding out about this. Wind Clan. Although the spell formation had been activated, Leaf Dao Denier was still the successor of the Yi clan, a Grand Emperor. He had many tricks up his sleeve, and he had many trump cards up his sleeve. After leaving, he rushed to the Pill Cauldron School and told them what had happened. When Dan Feng saw Leaf Dao Denier and heard the news, she was stunned. Damn it! Had the Wind Clan gone mad? Was the information true? Leaf Dao Denier said, "Are you sure? The Yi clan is too far from the ancient city, so we can't make a move. I'll bring people over now," Dan Feng said. Leaf Dao Denier said, "Gather people." Leaf Dao Denier said, "Don't act rashly. The Wind Clan is a primordial clan, on par with the Pill Cauldron School. Even if you go, you won't get anything. In fact, you might not even be able to enter the Wind Clan. When the time comes, they'll just move Lin Xian somewhere else, and you won't be able to find him. What should we do?" asked Dan Feng. Leaf Dao Denier said that when they attacked the Zifu clan, Lin Xian had brought many great sages and experts with him. Furthermore, he had connections with the heavenly court. It would be best if they could gather their forces. That way, the Wind Clan would have no way to resist. Dan Feng said, "I understand. I'll bring people over to Mount Eternal. Sir Yi, please stay in Taiching Valley and pay attention to the Wind Clan's movements. After that, the two of them split up. Dan Feng led Fan Xing and a few elders from the Pill Cauldron School. They even activated a super teleportation formation. They arrived near Mount Eternal to search for the Longevity Hall, Gu Clan, Fire God Palace, and other factions. When they arrived at the Long Life Hall and told them that Lin Xian had been imprisoned by the Wind Clan, the people of the Long Life Hall were shocked. What should they do? The elders hurried to discuss the matter. The Longevity Hall's venerated elder walked out and said coldly, "How dare you? They deserve to die for suppressing August immortals. Come with me to attack the Wind Clan." That's right. Su Lai walked out and called for a group of young geniuses. At the same time, they quickly contacted Hua Linger and Gu Li, as well as the two clans and sections. Soon, the sects and clans near Mount Eternal were angered when they learned of the news. They gathered again. This time, they formed a lineup that wasn't any weaker than the last time they attacked the Zifu clan. The group of people set off in a grandiose manner. Dan Feng breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this. This was great. With such a powerful force, he could definitely suppress the Wind Clan. He wanted to see if the Wind Clan would still be so arrogant. Leaf Daodinier was also preparing to contact the Heavenly Court. However, he wasn't sure if those people were still in Taiching Ancient City. He didn't find them. However, he did find another sect. One of them was Hilsey Palace. Using his status as the successor of the Yi clan, Leaf Daodinier made some discreet inquiries. After learning that Lin Xian was connected to the Mountain Sea Temple, he went directly to their palace in Grand Clarity Gorge. He saw the people from Hilsey Palace. Young Sir Yi, the successor of the Yi clan, invited them over. The people from Hilsey Palace were very respectful. This was the successor of the number 1 clan, Leaf Daodinier. The Mountain Sea Palace said that Lin Xian had been suppressed. What? The people from Hilsey Palace were shocked. Leaf Daodinier said that he needed their help. Before long, Elder Ruachin came over, looked at Leaf Daodinier and asked, "Young Sir Yi, please explain in detail." Leaf Daodinier explained the situation. Elder Ruachin's expression darkened. The Wind Clan was going too far. Hilsey Palace definitely won't ignore this because Lin Xian is also a member of Hilsey Palace. Our palace lord happens to be here. When the time comes, we'll go together. Many thanks. Leaf Daodinier cupped his fists. Then, he continued to search for factions related to Lin Xian. At the same time, Dan Feng and the others arrived outside Taiching Ancient City. They didn't come with great fanfare. Instead, they opened a spatial tunnel and quietly went to Pill Cauldron Gate to discuss. Chapter 4730. In a pagoda in the Wind Clan, several elders stared coldly at Lin Xian. They had tried all sorts of methods, including threats and requests, but to no avail. They were running out of patience. "Brat, I think you won't give up until you see the coffin. Although we can't kill you, we can torture you." One of the elders threw a punch at Lin Xian. Lin Xian was sealed in chains, and he vomited blood. That elder's arm was torn apart as well. There was nothing he could do about it, as Lin Xian's physique was just too strong. Trash. You want the 9 sons' inheritance? What a joke. You won't get it in your lifetime. Damn brat, how dare you challenge the Wind Clan? These elders were truly enraged. At the same time, they made up their minds. They had sealed the 9 sons' divine physique with their magic power, but it was still so powerful that it could injure an elder. If they got it, how strong would their physiques be? Perhaps everyone in the Wind Clan had a saint physique. If that was the case, no one would be a match for them. The other clans of the ancients were no match for them. Even the Purple Palace realm was inferior to them. It's not convenient for us to do it, so let the Punishment Hall do it. They're the best at interrogating criminals. Do we need to inform the Patriarch? No, the Patriarch's bottom line is that he can't die. The Punishment Hall knows what they're doing, but I'll make him wish he was dead. The Punishment Hall was built by the disciples and elders of the Wind Clan to carry out all kinds of punishments. The Punishment Hall Master was also one of the core elders. He was very strong. The people in the Punishment Hall were all cruel. The disciples of the Wind Clan felt their scalps go numb. At this moment, they were using it to deal with Lin Xian. Lin Xian's situation was probably the most dangerous. Next, Lin Xian was struck by lightning, burned by fire, sword chi, saber light, and all kinds of punishments. Cracks appeared on his divine physique. It couldn't be helped. With a great saint personally administering the punishment, it was really terrifying. Brat, are you going to talk or not? The hall master of the punishment hall coldly snorted and thrust his sword forward, piercing through Lin Xian's heart. Lin Xian's face was pale. He could feel his life force weakening. Fortunately, he cultivated immortality. Otherwise, he would have been severely injured long ago. Even so, his situation was not very good. Damn it, I have to get out of this mess, he gritted his teeth. I said. The punishment hall master sneered. He was a dignified great sage. Dealing with a young man was a piece of cake for him. Hurry up and write it down. This is a great merit. After handing it over to the patriarch, he might be the first to cultivate the 9-yang divine body. He even had other ideas. Brat, other than the 9-yang divine physique, you are also the great dragon's descendant, right? You also have half an extreme grade weapon. Obediently hand it over. These are not things that an ant like you can possess. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. His greed was insatiable. The punishment hall elder stabbed his sword into Lin Xian's body again. Is this how you should speak to me? Do you believe that I won't make you wish you were dead again? Lin Xian's injuries worsened. He clenched his teeth and smiled. Fine, we can negotiate. But you have to release me first and undo the seal. Brat, are you trying to escape? Don't think that we don't know that you have a great sage weapon. Hand over that great sage artifact. The other party was talking about the great sage tower. Lin Xian clenched his teeth. I can hand over the great sage pagoda, the punishment hall master said, and the heaven-devouring jar. Lin Xian handed over the heaven-devouring jar as well. He wasn't worried at all. It had his soul imprint and contained the power of reincarnation. It would not be easy for these people to erase it. Moreover, he already had his own plans. He wanted to see what these people could do to him when the time came. A pagoda floated up and down. The black jar also floated, emitting a terrifying aura. The punishment hall master looked up and laughed. The eyes of the punishment hall people lit up. As expected of the hall master, his methods were indeed powerful. The other elders could not do anything, but in their hands, it was easy. A young man laughed. Father has made a great contribution. I think the position of great elder will be yours in the future. Ha ha ha. The punishment hall master looked up and laughed. He reached out and grabbed the great sage pagoda and the heaven-devouring jar. The great sage pagoda resisted and shone brightly. The punishment hall master sealed it. It was a great sage pagoda, and he was a great sage. He could control it. However, the heaven-devouring jar was not so easy. It was half an extreme sage pagoda weapon. He could not suppress it with his strength. His palm was about to be swallowed. He snorted coldly. How strange. But so what? He formed a sealing barrier and enveloped the heaven-devouring jar. He would slowly study it when he returned. You still have the great dragon sword soul. Hand it over. Lin Xian said coldly. The great dragon sword soul was one with him. Handing it over was the same as taking his life. Forget it. You don't have enough strength to use it. They had already taken Lin Xian's storage ring, so they were not worried. They would release the seal and make him tell them the inheritance of the 9-yang divine body. Father, wouldn't that be too risky? The young man said. The punishment hall master sneered. His treasures are in our hands. Can he do anything? That's true. The young man smiled. He waved his hand and broke the chains on Lin Xian's body. However, the seal that suppressed Lin Xian's strength was not released. The chains on his body disappeared. Lin Xian could move again. He landed on the ground, his face pale. Up ahead, the punishment hall master said, All right, brat, hurry up and speak. Don't fight with me. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. He was not worried that Lin Xian would escape. At this moment, he had everything under his control. In this place, he was the ruler. The young man sneered. Speak quickly. Lin Xian raised his head and smiled. Listen carefully, he said. Listen carefully. The general principle of the 9-yang divine body was, hearing this, everyone became excited. This was a super strong physique in the universe. However, In the next moment, Lin Xian shouted coldly, "Don't even think about it in this lifetime." After saying that, he used all his strength to activate the great dragon sword soul and directly broke the seal. After the seal was broken, Lin Xian's strength recovered, and he summoned the heaven-devouring jar. It swallowed him. "Damn it! How dare you!" The hall master of the punishment hall roared as he threw a palm strike at the heaven-devouring jar. However, Lin Xian had already been swallowed. The heaven-devouring jar was sent flying, but Lin Xian's figure had already disappeared. "Damn it! You sealed this jar for me." He was really crazy. He had underestimated Lin Xian's strength. How could the great dragon sword soul be so easily sealed? Lin Xian attacked with all his might. The great dragon sword soul directly opened the seal. Although it was only a crack, it was enough for Lin Xian to use his strength. After entering the heaven-devouring jar, he once again entered the mysterious world in his body. Then, he heaved a sigh of relief. He was finally safe. No one could enter the mysterious world. Moreover, there was the heaven-devouring jar outside. He had temporarily saved his life, but it was not enough. Lin Xian swore that he would take revenge. Chapter 4731. The punishment hall master went crazy. They attacked quickly, but it was useless. Damn it! His face turned green. He was afraid that the sky-devouring jar would escape, so he quickly contacted the other great sages. When the great sages learned about it, their expressions turned ugly. The punishment hall master dared to let the sky-devouring jar out. Even the clan leader of the Wind Clan walked over and looked coldly at the hall master of the punishment hall. The punishment hall master said, "Clan leader, you really don't blame me." He said that he only let him go because he wanted to reveal the inheritance of the divine body. Moreover, we took all the treasures before that. I really didn't expect him to be able to mobilize power. It seems that we've underestimated him. A great sage sighed. Another said, "Fortunately, the sky-devouring jar hasn't escaped yet. We'll suppress it first, unless it doesn't come out for the rest of its life. If that doesn't work, we'll focus all our efforts on cracking the sky-devouring crown and removing the sealed soul. Then, this half-apex weapon will be ours." Even if they couldn't get the divine body of Nine Yang, it would be great if they could get the sky-devouring jar. "All right, let's do that." The Wind Clan leader nodded. Next, they began to attack the sky-devouring jar. The Wind Clan leader personally attacked. At the same time, there were 4 supreme elders and the punishment hall master. They moved quickly. On the other side, Pill Cauldron Gate gathered countless sects and families. When the great sages arrived, their expressions turned cold. The people of Mountain Sea Palace also arrived. Elder Ruochun followed a man over. The man looked very young. He looked young, but his aura was unfathomable. He was the Mountain Sea Palace master, Wu Yuan. Everyone arrived and was discussing countermeasures when a team arrived outside Taiching Ancient City. These people had prominent horns on their heads, and there were even scales flickering in some places. Their auras were abnormally powerful. The leader of the group was a pale-faced man in a dark red robe. Beside him was a man in a green robe with a face full of pimples. He looked very strange. The red-robed man looked to the side and said, "You're too unskilled. You're so ugly even in human form. What's so good about humans? My true form is handsome." He was an incomparably handsome toad. The green-robed man laughed. "You're just a Ruzalong. Why are you pretending to be handsome?" Hearing those words, the faces of the people behind turned cold. They stared at the people in front of them with hostile expressions. The green-robed man turned around and said, "What? I'm your boss's brother. Can't I say a few words to him? All of you, little brothers, stay in the back." Before he could finish, the red-robed man slapped him. "Damn toad, be more polite to my people. They are all my clansmen." Then, the red-robed man asked, "Is that kid really here?" The green-robed man said, "That's right. Not only did he appear, it was said that He Shan also appeared. The two of them had caused a huge commotion here. These two people were none other than the Toad and the Crimson Dragon. The group of powerhouses following behind were all powerhouses of the Dragon Clan. It seems that after the Crimson Dragon came to the buried Emperor's star, he seemed to have found his family. At this moment, they had all transformed into their human forms and came to Taiching Ancient City to meet Lin Xian and He Shan. After all, they hadn't met for a long time. Before entering the city, the Crimson Dragon said to the people behind him, "Keep a low profile and retract your dragon aura. Young master, don't worry, we know." These people all retracted their dragon aura. They all wore large robes. "Let's go." The Crimson Dragon waved his hand, and the group of people entered the ancient city. After entering, they were all shocked. As expected of Primeval City, it was indeed powerful and mysterious. "Young master, there are many ancient families here. However, the only ones you have to be careful of are the Heavenly Court and Purple Mansion." The Crimson Dragon said with a smile, "Don't worry, the Heavenly Court is one of us. As for the Purple Mansion, I heard that they were heavily injured and didn't dare to come out. Besides, we're not going to look for them. We're going to look for that kid Lin Xian." "But where is Lin Xian?" They didn't know. They were very direct. The toad jumped over and grabbed a cultivator and asked, "Do you know where Lin Xian is?" It was a woman. When she saw the toad's face full of bumps, she was so scared that she was about to cry. "I don't know, but he's on good terms with the Pill Cauldron School. You can go and ask," the woman said softly. The toad let go of her and walked back, saying, "He's at the Pill Cauldron School." The group of people set off for the Pill Cauldron School. "Who's there?" At the mountain gate of the Pill Cauldron School, countless guards shouted angrily and activated the formation. The aura of the group of people in front was very terrifying. Moreover, they were wearing black robes and looked very suspicious. It was very likely that they were attacking them. The toad jumped out and said, "We're here to look for Lin Xian. You should be his friends. Tell him that his old friends are here. Wait here. I'll go in and report." The two guards turned into streaks of light and rushed in. At this moment, the elders in the main hall were still discussing when a voice suddenly sounded from outside. "Report." There was a group of suspicious people outside. They said that they were Lin Xian's old friends. "They're here to look for Lin Xian." The elders in the main hall frowned. Lin Xian's old friends? Dan Feng and the others were puzzled. Are they from the Heavenly Court? However, Leaf Dao Denier was shocked. Perhaps they really were old friends. He knew that Lin Xian was the same as him. They both came from another world. He said, "Let's go and take a look." "I'll go with you." Leaf Dao Denier, Dan Feng, and Fan Xing followed the guards out. There was a dark red dragon outside the mountain gate. They were getting impatient from waiting. At this moment, 3 streaks of light flew over. What a powerful aura! Fan Xing and Dan Feng's pupils shrank. Although the group of people in front of them had deliberately restrained their auras, they could still feel it. It was as if there was a volcano in their bodies. A terrifying power could erupt at any time. However, this group of people was unfamiliar. They hadn't appeared when they attacked the Purple Mansion. Were they really Lin Xian's friends? Or were they here to target Lin Xian? Leaf Dao Denier frowned. He didn't know these people. He knew that Lin Xian had many friends, and even a dragon. However, these people were all humans. Hold on. He could sense that their auras were very powerful. They had a powerful soul and bloodline. He said, "Are you Ruzalong?" "Fuck, who dares call me that?" The Crimson Dragon was furious. That wasn't a title that ordinary people dared to call him. "It's you, the Yi family brat." The Crimson Dragon was stunned. Then, he grinned. "You're here too? That brat Lin Xian? Tell him to come over. I haven't seen him in a long time." The dragons behind him were also shocked. Someone dared to be disrespectful to their young master. They were furious. But when they learned that this person was Leaf Dao Denier of the Yi family, they gasped in shock. This was a descendant of the Yi family. His status was very high, and from the looks of it, he was friends with their young master. Chapter 4732. You came at the right time. We were just about to go save Lin Xian. What's going on? What happened to the kid? The Crimson Dragon asked. Leaf Dao Denier said, "It's a long story. Come in and tell me." He invited all the people from the Dragon Clan inside. Inside the hall, the Pill Cauldron School and the Palace of Longevity were still waiting. When they learned that Lin Xian's old friends had come, they were stunned. They were also stunned. The dragonfolk were true divine beasts, and their bloodline was even stronger than the Sun Crows. Not daring to be negligent, they respectfully invited the newcomers inside. Everyone gathered in the hall. Leaf Doudinier said, "We're all Lin Xian's friends, so there's no need to be polite. Right now, Lin Xian is in grave danger. He's being suppressed by the Wind Clan. I'm guessing that the Wind Clan wants his treasures. Damn it, are they tired of living? I'll go destroy them." The toad was instantly enraged. The Crimson Dragon's face was cold and murderous. How dare they attack Lin Xian? Unforgivable. He immediately wanted to lead the dragonfolk to attack the Wind Clan. But Leaf Doudinier said, "We can't act rashly. We need to send someone to stabilize the Wind Clan, lest they take Lin Xian with them." "I'll go." Wu Yuan, the palace lord of the Mountain Sea Palace, walked out and said, "They didn't know me before, so they didn't know about my relationship with Lin Xian. I'll go too." The Crimson Dragon and the Toad also stepped forward. They hadn't been present during the attack on Lin Xian's Zifu. "Fine, we'll wait outside." They quickly came to an agreement. The Crimson Dragon and the Abyss would lead the Mountain Sea Palace and the Dragonfolk to visit Lin Xian. Meanwhile, the Wind Clan's spell formation was activated. In the Wind Clan's treasure pagoda, the clan leader and esteemed elders' faces were incomparably cold. Damn it, the heaven-devouring jar was truly terrifying. Even with so many great sages working together, they couldn't do anything about it. I refuse to believe he won't come out for the rest of his life. The Punishment Hall Master roared furiously. The Patriarch of the Wind Clan was also furious. She sneered. Even if she had to spend 10 or even 100 years, she would still refine it. This thing was too important. They would do anything to get it. Lin Xian sat cross-legged in the mysterious world of Sword Dao inside the heaven-devouring jar. He circulated the longevity immortality art to quickly heal his injuries. He had recovered from his previous injuries and exhausted energy. Furthermore, he had not left and was still cultivating here. He could feel that the people outside were continuing to attack. Were these people still unwilling to give up? Since that was the case, he made up his mind. He might as well cultivate in this mysterious world. When he reached the Great Sage Realm, he would go out and exterminate the Wind Clan. But at this moment, a voice came from outside. Reporting to the Patriarch, "There is someone outside who wishes to see you." Who was it? The Patriarch of the Wind Clan shouted coldly. Didn't he see that he was busy right now? Moreover, the Wind Clan was so nervous at this time. How could they have time to meet other people? The Grand Elder said the same thing. "Can't you see that we're busy? Get lost." However, the guard said that they were the Hall Master of the Mountain Sea Palace and the people of the Dragon Clan. The Mountain Sea Palace and the Dragon Clan were stunned when they heard this. What were they doing here at this time? Did it have something to do with Lin Xian? The Patriarch of the Wind Clan said that no. When they attacked the Z Mansion, Lin Xian's people had already figured it out. They were the people of the Gu Clan, the Longevity Hall, the Fire God Palace, and the other Eternal Mountain regions. However, the Mountain Sea Palace and the Dragon Clan were not in the Eternal Mountain regions. They should not be here for Lin Xian. Perhaps there was something else. Perhaps. How about this? You guys continue to crack the array with all your might. I'll go and see what they want. After saying that, the Patriarch of the Wind Clan walked out of the pagoda and headed outside. On a divine island, the Patriarch of the Wind Clan landed. Outside, the array formation flickered. Two teams were waiting. There were not many people, which made the Patriarch of the Wind Clan heave a sigh of relief. She said to open the array formation. An elder went up to welcome them with a smile. It turned out that they were fellow Taoists from the Mountain Sea Palace and the Dragon Clan. Wu Yuan nodded and walked in with Elder Ruochen and the others. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon snorted coldly, waved his hand, and followed in. After inviting them into the main hall, the Patriarch of the Wind Clan stood up with a smile. "May I know what the two of you are here for?" Wu Yuan said, "I heard that the Wind Clan recently had a very famous guest here. We would like to meet him." "Meet a distinguished guest?" The Patriarch of the Wind Clan frowned and asked with a smile, May I know who this distinguished guest is? The Crimson Dragon snorted. Stop pretending. We heard that the top genius, Lin Xian, is in the Wind Clan. We're here to look for him. Damn it, they're here to look for Lin Xian. The people of the Wind Clan frowned. The patriarch of the Wind Clan was also surprised. She really did not expect the Dragon Clan and the Mountain Sea Palace to be related to Lin Xian. I was careless, she said. I don't know who you heard it from. There's no such thing. It's just some rumors outside. Lin Xian did not come to the Wind Clan at all. We don't know where he is. Please go back. I still have some things to do. Men, send the guests out. After speaking, the patriarch of the Wind Clan turned to leave. The elders of the Wind Clan walked up. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. Nonsense. We've received reliable news that Lin Xian is here. Why? Are you not willing to let us meet? Or have you used other methods to suppress Lin Xian? How dare you? The elders of the Wind Clan shouted angrily. A young boy dares to be impudent here. They saw that the Crimson Dragon was very young. At this moment, he released a supreme pressure and wanted to suppress the Crimson Dragon. You're the one who's bold to be rude to our young master. The experts of the Dragon Clan walked out directly, releasing a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons. A dragon's roar resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. A terrifying pressure and bloodline power swept through the surroundings. The expressions of the people of the Wind Clan changed greatly. Damn it! The patriarch of the Wind Clan also turned his head and frowned. Is the Dragon Clan trying to behave atrociously here? This is the territory of the Wind Clan. So what? The experts of the Dragon Clan shouted angrily. You dare to berate our young master? You deserve to die. The Crimson Dragon sneered and walked out. Looks like you still don't know my identity. Let me introduce myself. I'm the young master of the Black Seas Dragon Clan. The young master of the Black Seas Dragon Clan. The pupils of the Wind Clan's patriarch constricted. He was different from ordinary geniuses. He was an existence that could take over the Dragon Clan in the future. There were many branches of the Dragon Clan on the buried Emperor Star. The Black Seas Dragon Clan was a very terrifying branch. Although they were not from the nest of 10,000 dragons, they were still very terrifying. The Palace Master of the Mountain Sea Palace, Wu Yuan, also sighed. Lin Xian is a member of the Mountain Sea Palace. Today, I must know his whereabouts. After speaking, the void behind him split open and endless starlight flickered. There were also terrifying claws that covered the sky and earth. That was just the tip of the iceberg. It seemed to be a demonic beast with a huge body that could sweep through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Space beast. Moreover, it was a great sage. The pupils of the Wind Clan's people constricted. Is this the Palace Master of the Mountain Sea Palace? He's too strong. He can directly control a great sage demonic beast. Chapter 47:33. A terrifying aura shrouded the entire hall. It seemed like they would attack at any moment. The Wind Clan leader's expression changed a few times. Then, he sighed. Forget it. Lin Gongzi is indeed with us. If you want to see him, then come. But only the 2 of you can come. She pointed at the Crimson Dragon and Wu Yuan. All right. The Crimson Dragon stepped forward. Wu Yuan nodded. Then, he said to the people behind him, You all wait here. The 2 of them followed the patriarch of the wind race into the distance. After flying past countless islands, they finally stopped on one of them. They entered the 9-story pagoda. Palace leader, you're back. The people in the pagoda stood up. When they saw that the clan leader had brought 2 people back, they frowned. The clan leader frowned, said the leader of the Wind Clan. He was the leader of the Mountain Sea Palace, Yuan Wu, and the young master of the Black Sea Dragon Clan. They were all here to see Lin Xian. Those people sucked in a breath of cold air. Damn it. These people were actually related to Lin Xian. They were too careless. Where's Lin Xian? The Crimson Dragon roared. He looked around and didn't see Lin Xian. The Wind Clan leader pointed at the heaven-swallowing jar. He was inside. What? The Crimson Dragon was shocked. He felt a terrifying aura. Wu Yuan's pupils shrank. He took a deep breath and said, The heaven-swallowing demonic jar. Holy sh*t. It's actually this thing. The dark red divine dragon also jumped up and looked at it carefully. This is the legendary extreme Dao weapon. Now, it seems that it's really terrifying. That kid really got it. Why is there only one weapon? Where is he? The Wind Clan leader said that he's cultivating inside and we're protecting him. You guys are really shameless. You guys sealed me and wanted to get my inheritance. You even wanted to steal my weapons and treasures. Now, you guys have the face to say that you're protecting me? At this moment, a cold laugh came from the heaven-swallowing jar. Hearing this, the Wind Clan people's faces turned dark red. The Crimson Dragon jumped up. Kid, it's really you. Are you okay? Lin Xian said, I'm not dead yet. Rizalong, why are you here? The Crimson Dragon said, I have come to save you. Since you came here on your own, I'm afraid you won't be able to save me. Hurry up and get reinforcements. I understand. Just you wait. The Crimson Dragon turned around and wanted to leave. These people had designs on Lin Xian's inheritance, which meant that they wanted to take Lin Xian's life. He had to go back and call in the people outside to suppress the Wind Clan together. Only then could he save Lin Xian and leave. However, the leader of the Wind Clan waved his hand, and a storm blocked the path of the Crimson Dragon. You can't leave. The Crimson Dragon was furious. What was the meaning of this? You dare to stop me? No one can save him until we get what we want. Don't worry. Once we get what we want, we will send you away safely and personally apologize. So, you two should rest in the 9-story pagoda first. With that, she waved her hand and released a terrifying law, sealing them. There were many great saints inside. Whether in terms of strength or numbers, they were far superior to the Crimson Dragon and Wu Yuan. This was the reason why the leader of the Wind Clan was so fearless. What if I insist on taking him away? The Crimson Dragon's face darkened. Wu Yuan snorted coldly, and the starry sky beast appeared behind him again. Its huge body filled the entire 9-story pagoda. The 9-story pagoda kept shaking. The great saints were terrified. What a terrifying beast. Roar. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon roared, and its terrifying dragon roar resounded through the 9 heavens. The leader of the Wind Clan formed a seal to suppress the 9-story pagoda. Seal, suppress everything. This was also a great saint weapon. It was incomparably terrifying. It's useless. You can't spread it. Is that so? The Crimson Dragon sneered. In a flash, it appeared beside the heaven-swallowing jar and said, Kid, let's do it together. Lin Xian expressed that he understood. He used the great dragon sword soul to transmit the dragon roar, and coupled with the Crimson Dragon bloodline. In the next moment, a sword light seemed to be able to tear the 9 heavens apart. Roar. The roar outside the 9-story pagoda spread throughout the Wind Clan's island. What was that sound? What a terrifying aura. Countless people were shocked. In the main hall of a divine island, the experts of the Dragon Clan heard the sound and their expressions changed. Not good. It's the young master's voice. The young master is in danger. They roared angrily, and their bodies changed, turning into true dragons one after another, roaring between heaven and earth. Kill. They directly tore through heaven and earth and rushed to the 9 heavens. On the Mountain Sea Palace's side, Elder Ruachin also said, Hurry up and leave. They also summoned countless demonic beasts, which rushed over in an overwhelming manner. At the same time, Elder Ruachin formed a seal and transmitted a message to those outside, telling them to move quickly. Outside, Danfeng and the others also took a deep breath when they heard the news. Let's move. Inside the 9-story pagoda, the leader of the Wind Clan had an ugly expression. Damn it. Hurry up and suppress them. The 6 great saints attacked together. The Crimson Dragon's body shook. Although he was the young master of the Dragon Clan, he was only a Saint King. He couldn't resist at all. Fortunately, Wu Yuan followed. He controlled the Starry Sky Beast and cleansed everything. The Starry Sky Beast seemed to have turned into a river of stars. Lin Xian also used all his strength to activate the heaven-swallowing jar, releasing a terrifying devouring aura. Suppress them. The leader of the Wind Clan shouted angrily, and together, they forced the Starry Sky Beast to retreat. Then, they attacked Wu Yuan and the Crimson Dragon. At the critical moment, Lin Xian used the heaven-swallowing jar to swallow the two of them and the Starry Sky Beast, blocking the fatal attack. Damn it, the leader of the Wind Clan was angry. She said, "Fully recover for me. Legendary Saint Weapon. I want to suppress him." The Supreme Elders also looked serious and prepared to attack. However, at this moment, a fierce attack came from outside the 9-story pagoda. There were also terrifying dragon roars and the roars of demonic beasts. "Damn it! How dare you attack our young master? Do you want to offend the Black Sea Dragon Clan? The Mountain Sea Palace is not to be trifled with. If you really provoke us, we will control millions of demonic beasts to attack the Wind Clan." Elder Ruachin also roared. Damn it, the news had spread. Their faces were cold. "What should we do, leader?" the elders asked. The leader of the punishment hall walked out and said, "Since that's the case, why don't we just kill them? Otherwise, the Wind Clan will be in danger." The people around hesitated, but when they thought of the consequences, they couldn't bear it. A hint of madness appeared in their eyes. "Fine, they are in the Wind Clan anyway. No matter how strong they are, they can't escape. We'll use a peerless formation and some trump cards to kill them." These people's eyes were red, and their killing intent swept through the 9 heavens. The leader of the Wind Clan nodded and prepared to attack. At this moment, a loud voice sounded between heaven and earth. The Pill Cauldron sect heard that young Master Lin Xian was in the Wind Clan and came to pay a visit. The Longevity Hall came to pay a visit to Lin Gongzi. The Fire God Palace came to pay a visit to Lin Gongzi. The Gu family came to pay a visit to Lin Gongzi. One after another, the voices resounded through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. When the leader and elders of the Wind Clan heard this, their expressions became extremely ugly. "Damn it, why are there more people coming? And they are all peerless sects and ancient families." Chapter 4734. The people of the Wind Clan fell into endless panic, especially the Wind Clan leader and the others. Their faces were extremely ugly. It seemed that the news had been spread out long ago, but they didn't know that they were surrounded by so many families. Could the Wind Clan resist? "Stop them," the patriarch of the Wind Clan ordered. However, it was useless. The people outside saw that the people of the Wind Clan didn't react and directly attacked. They tore open the formation and charged in. A terrifying aura descended from the 9 heavens. The people of the Wind Clan felt their hair stand on end, and the young disciples felt their scalps go numb. They were so scared that they almost knelt on the ground. Heavens, what was going on? Why were there so many experts? Were they going to start a war with the Wind Clan? Finally, they reached the outside of the 9-story pagoda. The Wind Clan leader had no choice but to brace himself and go out. He said, "Everyone, what do you mean by entering the Wind Clan directly? Are you going to start a war with the Wind Clan? Hand over Lin Gongzi." Dan Feng shouted coldly, and the people of the Longevity Hall roared. "Yes, hand over the exalted immortal." The Wind Clan was audacious to dare to suppress the exalted immortal. The experts of the Dragon Clan roared. "How dare you disrespect our young master? Do you want to die?" The terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragons swept in all directions. "Great, our people are finally here." Inside the sky-devouring jar, Lin Xian was overjoyed. He controlled the sky-devouring jar to turn into a stream of light and finally rushed over. Then, Lin Xian, Wu Yuan, and the Crimson Dragon walked out. "Young master." The people of the Dragon Clan were overjoyed. On the other side, the people of the Longevity Hall and the Fire God Palace exclaimed. When they saw Lin Xian, their expressions became extremely ugly. They found that Lin Xian's robe was covered in blood. It was obvious that he had been punished previously. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. "Damn it! How dare you attack my brother? How dare you suppress me? The Wind Clan is dead meat." He was murderous. The experts of the Dragon Clan also had cold expressions on their faces. As long as the order was given, they would quickly take action. Lin Xian's expression was ice cold as he stared at the people from the Wind Clan. He sneered. "Wind Clan, very good, you're very bold. He actually dared to suppress me, and even wanted to snatch the treasures and inheritances on me. But can you eat it? The people of the Wind tribe had ugly expressions on their faces, especially the Wind tribe leader, who sucked in a cold breath. It had to be known that Lin Xian had led so many experts to attack the Violet Palace realm. They had all seen the power of that attack. The Purple Palace realm was so powerful, but even it was heavily injured, let alone the Wind clan. She said, Lin Gongzi, this is a misunderstanding. That's right. The other Grand Elders also laughed. Lin Gongzi, this is indeed a misunderstanding. We were just joking with you. Misunderstanding? What a joke. Lin Xian sneered. Oh, really? In that case, I'll also create a misunderstanding and joke with you guys. As he said that, he waved his hand, and the experts from the Pill Cauldron sect, Fire God Palace, Gu Clan, and Eternal Life Hall all surrounded him. On the other side, the people from the Dragon Clan also walked over under the command of the Crimson Dragon. The people from the Mountain Sea Lake released their demonic beasts, and terrifying demonic beasts roared between heaven and earth. Don't attack, the Wind Tribe leader hurriedly said. They were in the wrong this time, and they were willing to compensate. Compensate for what? Okay, Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand and walked over. He first looked at the Punishment Hall leader. You're really good. You actually dared to snatch the treasures on me. Now, hand over all those things. Now, other than the heaven-devouring jar and the dragon-shaped sword soul, Lin Xian's other things had been taken away. This included the Black Earth, Great Sage Tower, Great Destruction, and his storage ring. Being stared at by countless experts, the Punishment Hall leader did not dare to be presumptuous. He quickly handed over the items from before. At the same time, he gritted his teeth. Damn it, these things had only been in his hands for a few days, and now he had to hand them over. He was indignant, but in the current situation, he could not resist. After Lin Xian took it, he quickly checked it. He found that the soul imprints on the Black Earth and Great Sage Tower had dimmed significantly. It was obvious that these people had been attacking continuously. He re-imprinted his soul imprint and checked the storage ring. He found that the things inside were still there. He heaved a sigh of relief and put them away. Then, he looked at the Punishment Hall leader. Didn't you want compensation? Let's see how you're going to compensate me. The Punishment Hall leader's face was ugly. In the end, he took out his storage ring and said, I'll give you my storage ring. Lin Xian took a look and sneered. Not enough. Damn it. The surrounding people from the Wind Tribe gritted their teeth. How many treasures were there in the storage ring of a great sage? But this guy still thought it was not enough? Why, do you think this matter can be solved so easily? What a joke. I'll let you know how stupid you are. First, hand over the storage rings of everyone in the Punishment Hall. The people from the Punishment Hall were full of despair. The Wind Tribe's patriarch sneered. What are you waiting for? Can't you hear Lin Gongzi's words? Left with no choice, the people from the Punishment Hall handed over their storage rings. Lin Xian waved his hand and kept them all. Is this enough? The Wind Tribe's patriarch asked. Lin Xian said. This was just the beginning. He looked at the young man again. Previously, you wanted to kill me, suppress me, and search my soul? I'm standing here now. Try moving. Feng Kong kept retreating, his face full of despair. The Punishment Hall leader also said, My son is insensible and offended Lin Gongzi. I apologize on his behalf. I refuse. Lin Xian said coldly, then looked at Feng Kong. Are you a man? Stand up if you're a man. I'll give you a chance to challenge me. If you can block one of my moves, I'll let you leave alive. Otherwise, you can go to hell and apologize to me. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people's faces changed. The Punishment Hall leader's pupils shrank. No, father, save me. Feng Kong's face was full of horror. The Wind Tribe's supreme elder snorted. Trash, you can't even block one move? The Punishment Hall leader gritted his teeth. Konger, you can do it. You're also a top genius. Although you're not as strong as the Wind Phoenix, you can still be ranked in the top 10 among the younger generation of the Wind Tribe. Feng Kong's scalp went numb, but he still walked forward. Just one move? He quickly moved out and took out many defensive weapons to protect himself. If he can block this move, he'll be safe. Looking at this scene, the Crimson Dragon and the others were full of disdain. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. He said indifferently, "Die." In the next moment, Feng Kong, who was protected by the light array and the shield, died. Chapter 47:35. What? Is he dead? The people of the Wind Clan were stunned. They couldn't believe it. The young disciples were horrified. Feng Kong was killed by the other party's words. He was the top expert of the clan. The elders of the Wind Clan were also shocked. What kind of method was this? No. The leader of the punishment hall shouted angrily. He couldn't believe that his son couldn't even block one move. A great saint's face turned ugly. He said, "This guy's soul is too strong. He could block my attack before." He killed Feng Kong with his soul eye technique. The others were in an uproar. So it was a soul attack. This method was too strange. "Damn kid, I'm going to kill you." The leader of the punishment hall roared. "Stop." However, the clan leader of the Feng clan had an ugly expression as he shouted angrily. The leader of the punishment hall stopped. "Damn it." He gritted his teeth so hard that they almost broke. The leader of the Wind Clan said, "Is Lin Gongzi satisfied?" Lin Xian said, "How far have you gone? How can a young ant quell my anger? Do you think what you did to me can be erased so quickly? Are you kidding me?" Lin Xian's eyes were filled with killing intent. He swore that he would take revenge and make the Wind Clan regret it. Then, Lin Xian looked at the people of the punishment hall and said indifferently, "Those who entered the 9-story pagoda before, kill yourselves." What? The people of the punishment hall were filled with despair. The pupils of the Wind Clan also shrank. This was an elite team, and there were many experts who had entered before. Now, they were going to kill them? What a joke. They wanted to stop him. Lin Xian sneered. "What? You're not willing? Then I'll do it myself." As he spoke, he threw out the heaven-swallowing jar. A terrifying, devouring aura spread in all directions. Those people quickly retreated in horror. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon laughed. "They also attacked me. Kill." After hearing this, the experts of the Dragon Clan quickly moved. Roar, roar, roar. Dragon roars resounded through the world. All kinds of terrifying Dragon Clan divine abilities flew out. Dozens of people were instantly torn into a bloody mist. "Ancestor, it's me. Old Zhang, help." Those people roared crazily, but it was useless. In an instant, they were all annihilated. The Wind Clan's people were in despair. What was going on? These people killed their experts in their territory, but their elders and patriarchs didn't say a word. Was this a tacit agreement? Lin Xian looked around at the angry eyes and sneered. What? Were they angry and desperate? But do you know what your Wind Clan has done? The patriarch of the Wind Clan used the excuse of inviting me to the Wind Clan to suppress me. What happened after that? Let me tell you something. 6 great sages, countless elders, and the people from the Hall of Punishments tortured me in every possible way. Do you think what I've done to the Wind Clan is excessive? What? The people from the Wind Clan were stunned. They really didn't know about this matter. They didn't expect that Lin Xian's disappearance during this period of time was actually because he was suppressed by their experts and great sages. Wind Clan Chief's face darkened. She asked, "Are you satisfied now?" Lin Xian snorted coldly and ignored her. Then, he stared at the Hall Master of Punishments. "You attacked me personally. I won't let you off. Brat, do you want to kill me?" The Hall Master of Punishments shouted angrily. He was a great sage. As expected, the people from the Wind Clan also roared, "Enough. Don't go too far. We've already tolerated you a lot. Do you really think we're afraid of you?" Lin Xian sneered. "What? You're not satisfied? Then I'll make you despair." He waved his hand, and the people from Pill Cauldron School and Longevity Hall walked over. A terrifying aura enveloped heaven and earth. The terrifying power made everyone despair. Wind Clan Chief gritted her teeth. She said, "If the Hall Master of Punishments dies, will your anger be appeased?" "I don't know if it can be appeased completely, but I'm very angry now. I'll personally return the torture that this guy has inflicted on me." "If the Wind Clan won't do it, then I'll do it myself. When the Wind Clan is destroyed, don't blame me. Killing intent appeared in Lin Xian's eyes. The Supreme Elder's expressions were ugly. They said, Clan Chief, why don't you give up on the Hall Master of Punishments? Another Grand Elder sighed. If he didn't pay a price, this brat wouldn't be willing to give up. A great sage might be able to appease his anger. Wind Clan Chief sighed and closed her eyes. She said, do it? Yes. The great sages received the order and moved quickly. The 4 great sages came in front of the Hall Master of Punishments. Don't blame us. Everything is for the clan. Damn it, what do you want? Do you really want to kill me? The Hall Master of Punishments shouted angrily, and the power in his body erupted. He unleashed a peerless attack that caused the 9 heavens and 10 earths to collapse. However, his opponents were 4 great sages, and they were great sages of the same clan. The 4 great sages attacked together. Soon, they suppressed the Hall Master of Punishments. Cripple his cultivation. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Since the 4 great sages had already made their decision, they wouldn't hold back. They directly crippled the Hall Master of Punishments' cultivation. No, the Hall Master of Punishments was in despair. Without his cultivation, he was nothing. In fact, he even aged a lot in an instant. He really didn't expect his clan to give up on him. Damn it, you'll regret it. Hurry up and kill this brat together, or the Wind Clan will be in danger. This brat will definitely not let this go. Do you think you'll be safe if I die? Hurry up and attack. However, the people of the Wind Clan ignored him and walked up from the other side. He took out the unparalleled sword and the great destruction spear from his storage ring and began to attack. Don't you like to torture people? I'll let you know what it's like. Without his cultivation, the other party was like an ant to him. He attacked powerfully. First, he broke all the bones in the other party's body. Then, he began to use all kinds of methods. Screams rang out, and everyone's scalps went numb. The people of the Wind Clan were about to faint from fear. In the end, Lin Xian's eyes shone. Suffer the pain of 10,000 years of reincarnation. Die. The heavenly secret divine eyes activated the power of reincarnation, pulling the other party's soul into an illusion and began to suffer. In the end, the Hall Master of Punishments fell. Lin Xian roared at the sky, venting his anger. Lin Gongzi, are you satisfied? A great sage asked carefully. Lin Xian said, killing him has indeed calmed me down a lot, but it's still not enough. What? As soon as these words came out, the Grand Elders were stunned. The expression of the Wind Clan's patriarch changed drastically. He roared, don't go too far. Do you really think the Wind Clan is afraid of you? Another great sage gritted his teeth. What do you want? Lin Xian said coldly, I won't bully the Wind Clan. Those who attacked me before, no matter if they were ordinary sages or peak great sages, must die. His voice was filled with endless killing intent. Lin Xian wanted blood for blood. Chapter 4736. The few great sages who had attacked earlier had ugly expressions because they had tried to suppress Lin Xian before. They wanted to take his soul. Now that the other party was here, wouldn't he kill them too? The face of the Feng Clan's leader sank. She said coldly before, I also attacked you. Are you going to kill me as well? Lin Xian sneered. That's right. Anyone who attacked me before will go to hell. How dare you? You're courting death. This time, countless Feng Clan experts roared. The other party didn't even let their clan leader off. This time, the Feng Clan couldn't take it anymore. Lin Xian snorted. What's wrong? Your clan leader's life is important, but my life isn't? I've said that if you attack me, you'll regret it. Now, I'm giving you one last chance. Kill yourself. Clan leader, don't talk nonsense with him. This kid is a lunatic. Kill him, and all the treasures on him will be ours. The Feng Clan leader also exploded with a sharp radiance. There was still room for discussion before, but since the other party wanted to kill her, there was no room for discussion. All Feng Clan disciples, listen up. Kill. At this moment, endless radiance exploded from her body, sweeping across the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The great sages and elders of the Feng clan also attacked. A storm gathered in the sky, and countless Feng clan martial artists moved. A great array appeared, and pillars of light appeared on the divine islands one after another. The Wind Phoenix gathered a group of forces and began to operate. The Feng clan was completely mobilized. They wanted to kill the person in front of them completely. Lin Xian roared as he raised the heaven-devouring jar, emitting endless killing intent. He shouted coldly, "Everyone, follow me and conquer the 9 heavens together. Kill." The people from Pill Cauldron Sect, Longevity Hall, Gu Family, and Fire God Palace were also roaring. This wasn't the first time they followed Lin Xian. They had attacked him in the Z Mansion before. Now that they were working together again, they were very familiar with each other. Soon, a great battle broke out. Wu Yuan also stepped into the air and summoned the starry sky beast. It covered the 9 heavens, and terrifying stars fell. The Mountain Sea Palace elders he had brought with him also began to attack. On the other side, the toad roared, "Ruzalong, do it quickly." The Crimson Dragon shouted coldly, "Dragons, listen up. Kill the people of the Wind Clan. Especially those who attacked us. Don't leave a single one alive." The Dragon Race experts received the order and attacked powerfully. Some of them took human form and were like exceptional war gods. Some were even more straightforward and directly transformed into their true forms. Countless dragons roared between heaven and earth. With a single strike, the few divine islands below were shattered. All the formations, buildings, mountains, rivers, and even the martial artists on them were annihilated. No, the people of the Wind Race were in despair. They didn't expect these people to be so powerful. "Kill that brat for me." A great sage from the Wind Folk, wielding an axe, flew through the air toward Lin Xian. The terrifying aura enveloped Lin Xian like the axe of a giant god. Lin Xian summoned the void beast beside him and dodged quickly. At the same time, he used the great sage tower to block. With a clang, he was forced back, his blood and qi churning. Beside him, another great sage charged over. That great sage was holding a fan. As he waved it, a storm condensed in the sky, wanting to tear Lin Xian's body apart. Lin Xian roared and used the great sage tower to defend. At the same time, he used the heaven-devouring jar to its limit and dodged quickly. At this moment, the great sages of the Pill Cauldron Sect and the Longevity Hall walked over. "Exalted Immortal, retreat. Let's attack." They charged out forcefully. Lin Xian swept his gaze in all directions and looked at the young disciples of the Wind Clan. "Come on, attack together. I'll take it." Feng Huang gritted her teeth and a sharp sword appeared in her hand. The wind shook the 9 heavens. A peerless sword technique swept out. Lin Xian sneered and struck out with both palms. 2-man ruler seals shot out and tore everything apart. He charged in front of Feng Huang. The 9 young divine body bloomed with radiance as he fought in close combat. How could Feng Huang be a match for the divine body? She was injured in an instant. Wind spirit wings appeared on her back and brought her back quickly. The people of the Wind Clan were good at speed. At this moment, they turned into extreme speed and kept dodging. At the same time, they attacked Lin Xian's various vital points. "Your speed is a little slower than Guangming's." Lin Xian's eyes bloomed with golden light. He swept his gaze and began to lock onto Feng Huang's position. Feng Huang's speed was indeed very fast, but she couldn't escape his gaze. Soul gazes flew out one after another. Feng Huang felt the soul attack and quickly defended, but she was still a step too late. Lin Xian's soul wasn't something she could resist. After she came out, Lin Xian's finger pierced through her shoulder and one of her arms disappeared. It turned into a bloody mist. Her entire body was also sent flying. Was Feng Huang defeated? The young geniuses of the Wind Clan were shocked. Damn it! Everyone attacked together. More than a dozen geniuses charged over. Lin Xian laughed loudly. He waved the great shattering sword in his hand, and the demonic clouds in the sky churned. The bodies of several geniuses split open. He was too strong. Lin Xian killed his way into the young disciples. Like a giant dragon entering a pack of wolves, he swept across all directions. Anyone who was hit by him either turned into a bloody mist suffered serious injuries, or died directly. No. When the Feng clan leader saw this scene, her eyes turned red. Damn it. She forced a great saint of the fire god palace to retreat. Then, she roared into the sky. She used her trump card. Activate, sacred weapon. In her hand, a terrifying fan of wind was formed. Wind and rain fan of 8 desolation. The Wind clan's sacred weapon. At this moment, she used her full strength and directly injured the great saint of the fire god palace. Then, the great saints of the Wind clan quickly condensed and came to the Feng clan leader's side. They used all their strength to control the wind and rain fan of 8 desolation. A storm came over and raindrops fell. Each drop could penetrate a peerless expert. Sacred weapon. Among the sacred weapons, it was the top existence. At this moment, it was extremely terrifying. Competing in weapons? You're courting death. Lin Xian sneered. He threw the heaven-devouring jar into the sky and then said, "Give me your power." The great saints on Lin Xian's side also condensed their power and channeled it into the heaven-devouring jar. The heaven-devouring jar emitted a terrifying light. Endless vortexes condensed and spun, swallowing all the storm and rain in the sky. Then, Lin Xian took out the great dragon sword. "Give me power," he roared. The great saints channeled their power to him again. Slash. With a slash, it was as if a divine dragon had been resurrected and swept across the 9 heavens. At this moment, the Dragon Clan expert's pupils shrank. What a powerful aura of the Tao of Dragon. This was the great dragon sword soul. Was this the legendary cultivation technique or saint art? The Dragon Clan people also bowed down in worship. Boom. The Feng clan used the wind fan of 8 desolation to block with all its strength. The explosion of the two was earth-shattering. The Feng clan people retreated and vomited blood. Many of them. The Supreme Elder's mouth was bleeding, and the Feng clan leader also vomited blood. They were too strong. One had to know that this was not a single force attacking them. Lin Xian had gathered several elite experts from the peerless sections one against many. The Feng clan could not resist at all. "Go and ask for help," the Feng clan leader roared. In this situation, the Feng clan alone could not resist. They had to ask for help. The elders of the Feng clan fled one after another. It seemed that they were going to ask for help from other remote antiquity families and peerless sections. Chapter 4737. Very soon, news of this matter spread. Countless people were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to attack the Wind Clan after attacking the Z Mansion. He was going too far. The Golden Crow Clan was enraged when they heard about it. Who did he think he was? Did he really think he could behave atrociously above the heads of the remote antiquity families? The leader of the Golden Crow Clan looked ahead. The elder of the Wind Clan said, "Don't worry, we'll send people over." "Thank you." The Wind Clan is eternally grateful for the kindness of the Golden Crow Clan. At the same time, the Light Clan, Holy Heavens Clan, Serene Cloud Sect, and even the Z Mansion went over to invite them to attack Lin Xian. The people of the Serene Cloud Sect rejected them directly. The previous incident had caused their sect master to be severely injured. They didn't want to participate in anything now. The people of the Light Clan and Holy Heavens Clan frowned. Was Lin Xian really so arrogant? They didn't think so. The leader of the Light Clan asked, "What happened? Why did Lin Xian attack the Wind Clan?" "What?" The elder of the Wind Clan hesitated. He couldn't say that they wanted to suppress Lin Xian and steal his treasures. Seeing this, the people of the Light Clan understood. He said, "It doesn't seem so simple. If that's the case, we can't help." Sigh. The elder of the Wind Clan sighed and turned to leave. Although the Holy Heavens Clan was suspicious, the leader of the Holy Heavens Clan had joined forces with the Wind Clan to attack the Netherworld Hierarch. Therefore, they decided to take a look. Soon, the great sages of the Golden Crow Clan and Holy Heavens Clan arrived. When the people of the Wind Clan saw this, they were so excited that they were about to cry. The leader of the Wind Clan exclaimed, "Friend, you came at the right time. Quick, help me suppress them. This brat is too arrogant." When the great sages of the Golden Crow Clan arrived, They stared at Lin Xian with murderous intent. Go to hell. They charged over aggressively. The people beside Lin Xian shouted coldly. The Supreme Elder of the Longevity Hall and the experts of the Dragon Clan attacked, forcing the great sages of the Golden Crow Clan to retreat. Damn it! Why were there people of the Dragon Clan? They were shocked. At this moment, the starry sky beasts in the sky shone down tens of thousands of rays of light, which made their scalps go numb. This time, there were even more people than when they attacked the Purple Mansion. When the patriarch of the saintly race arrived and saw this scene, he said, "Everyone, listen to me. This seems to be a misunderstanding. From the looks of it, they didn't intend to attack directly, but were here to mediate. There was no misunderstanding. Just kill them directly." The Wind Clan's clan leader came over and said with gritted teeth. On the other side, Lin Xian waved his hand. Everyone stopped and looked at the newcomers with cold expressions. Lin Xian looked ahead and frowned slightly. Golden Crow Race, you dare to come over? You don't know the meaning of death. I'll send you all to hell together. At the same time, he looked at the people from the Saint Heaven's clan. Saint Heaven's clan? Do you want to be my enemy too? Why was Lin Gongzi attacking the Wind Clan? The patriarch of the saintly race asked. If the other party attacked without any reason, they would have to make a move no matter what, because their Saint Heaven's clan could be the next Wind Clan. When Lin Xian heard this, he laughed. Didn't the Wind Clan tell you the reason why they invited you here? All right, I'll tell you. The Wind Clan leader tricked me here and suppressed me. 6 great sages wanted to take my soul and steal my 9 sons' inheritance. Do you think I should take revenge? What? The people from the saintly race were shocked. The great sages sucked in cold air. The patriarch of the saintly race's face darkened. He knew that there was a problem, but he didn't expect it to be so serious. It was no wonder that Lin Xian would lead people to attack the Wind Clan. On the other side, the eyes of the Golden Crow race's great sages flickered. They looked at the Wind Clan. The Wind Clan's clan leader said, "Don't listen to his nonsense. This brat is too arrogant. Let's take him down together." However, the patriarch of the saintly race shook his head and sighed. Taoist Feng, we can't do this. The Wind Clan's clan leader's face changed. The Golden Crow race's clan leader said, "Are you afraid of him?" The saintly race's clan leader said, 6 great sages besieging a young man has already broken the rules we set together. I have no reason to take action. However, seeing that my clan has been on good terms with the Wind Clan for many years, I can provide you with some help. But if you want us to attack Lin Xian directly, we won't. The saintly race drew a clear line between them. Lin Xian nodded. Very good. Then, he looked at the Golden Crow race's clan leader and sneered. Why? Do you intend to side with the Wind Clan? Then don't blame me. Next, I will attack the Golden Crow race. The Golden Crow race's clan leader's face changed. If that was the case, would they be able to resist Lin Xian and so many terrifying people? For a moment, they were hesitating. The people of the Wind Clan were in despair. However, at this moment, the Wind Clan's clan leader came to the Z Mansion and requested for reinforcements. When Feng Shaoqing heard about this, he sighed. He brought the experts of the Z Mansion and headed to the Wind Clan. At this moment of crisis, they descended from the sky. Great, the people of the Z Mansion are here. Seeing Feng Shaoqing and the people of the Z Mansion, the people of the Wind Clan recovered. They hoped that the Z Mansion would stand on their side. Then, there was hope. It was the people of the Z Mansion. The experts of the Dragon Clan frowned. The people of the Mountain Sea Palace sucked in a breath of cold air. The other great sects were also facing a great enemy. Back then, so many experts and sects had joined forces to attack the Z Mansion, but the Z Mansion could not do anything. They could only injure the other party. If the seal of the Z Mansion had not been broken, their losses would have been even more severe. Now that the Z Mansion was here, the situation had become complicated. Young man, don't go too far. Feng Shaoqing looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, You have already killed many experts of the Wind Clan. You can stop now. You want me to stop with just a few words? Ridiculous. Then, I will suppress you, torture you, steal your inheritance, and then apologize to you. Is that okay? If you agree, I will do that to you right now. Lin Xian snorted. Feng Xiaoqing's face sank. What do you want? Lin Xian laughed coldly. I've already said it. It's very simple. Those who attacked me before must die, including the patriarch of the Wind Clan. Feng Xiaoqing's face changed when he heard that. If the patriarch of the Wind Clan was killed, wouldn't the Wind Clan become a joke? Why are you afraid of losing face and suffering heavy losses? Then, when you were on top of me, did you think about the consequences? Lin Xian snorted. Come on, Z Mansion. Do you think you can represent the Z Mansion? At most, we will just fight another battle. Have the Heavenly Court ever been afraid of you? Lin Xian snorted, and the heaven-devouring jar shone brightly. Lin Xian had the heaven-devouring jar and had joined forces with Heishan. Therefore, these people had long thought of him as someone from the Heavenly Court. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to hide it. Today, he would use his identity as someone from the Heavenly Court to fight against the Z Mansion. Chapter 4738. Since that was the case, there was nothing left to say. Young Master Feng roared. Let's do it. He brought the people of the Purple Mansion out. On the other side, the people of the Golden Crow race took a deep breath. They said that they could do it, but after suppressing this kid, he had to give them a share of the 9 sons' inheritance. Damn it. The leader of the Wind race gritted his teeth. But at this moment, they really needed each other's strength. The people of the Holy Heaven race retreated to the back. They would not participate in the battle. The battle had already broken out. With the addition of the Purple Mansion and the Golden Crow race, the Wind race's strength was extremely strong. The 3 legendary saint weapons were released. Unparalleled radiance rushed over. It was terrifying to the extreme. Kill! Lin Xian roared. He took out the great dragon sword soul, releasing a terrifying radiance. Give me strength! He roared. Ruzalong, array. Use the spiritual vein here. Ruzalong, with the help of the experts of the dragon race, set up a huge array. He used the power of the 81 islands and poured it all into the great dragon sword soul. Dragon chi exploded. In addition to the dragon blood provided by the Crimson Dragon and the rest, the great dragon sword soul was extremely strong at this moment. With a slash, heaven and earth shattered. This slash was like the sword of a god. Even if the opponent had 3 legendary saint weapons, they were still pushed back. After the slash, Lin Xian's face was pale. Endless cracks appeared on his hands. Using such power of the great dragon sword soul was too much for him. His arms were broken and turned into a bloody mist. Using the immortality art, his broken arms recovered. Beside him, Danfeng provided him with a large amount of pills. At the same time, dozens of islands on the Wind Race's island were destroyed and turned into ashes. All the energy was used up. The people of the Wind Race were in despair. This was using their strength to attack them. Damn it. Seal. They must not let them use the energy of the spiritual vein. Phoenix led the people to seal the spiritual vein quickly. The people of the Golden Crow race and the Purple Mansion race were shocked. Was this the legendary Great Dragon Sword? It was too strong. Moreover, the opponent was an attacker. The strength of his attack was unparalleled. They were vomiting blood. Without a sage weapon, no one would be able to survive this sword strike. Even great sages would be killed in body and soul. Damn it! Feng Xiaoqing shouted angrily. To those people from the Z government, they had to use their trump cards. The Purple Palace sect had a lot of methods, although they had to pay a price. Someone with terrifying demonic chi around his body said, I can build the 9 underworld gate. Everyone, provide me with power. Since the Purple Palace Hall had the 9 nether scripture, it was obvious that someone had already mastered it. The great saint began to cast a spell. A 9 underworld's gate appeared behind him, emitting a terrifying aura. The people in the surroundings also provided energy, and the 9 underworld doors opened. A terrifying aura spread out from within. Clearly, an unknown god was about to appear. How terrifying! Legend had it that the 9 underworld's gate was connected to another world. It was terrifying to the extreme. The people from the Longevity Hall were shocked. Lin Xian and the others all frowned. Lin Xian clenched his teeth. He said that he would use the heaven-swallowing jar to block the legendary saint weapon and then use the great dragon sword to attack them. This way, he would split into two. Although the great saint could provide him with energy, he was afraid that his body would be seriously injured. At this moment of crisis, 9 cauldrons appeared in the sky, suppressing a part of the world. The 9 underworlds' gate kept shattering. The great saint coughed up blood and was sent flying. A loud voice rang out. Purple Palace, do you think the heavenly court has no one? The people from the heavenly court had come. The people from the Wind Clan felt their scalps go numb. The 9 cauldrons bloomed in the sky, and faintly discernible figures flickered. If the Purple Palace wants to fight, the heavenly court will accompany them to the end. Damn it! Feng Shaoqing clenched his teeth. The people from the Golden Crow clan also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. They had seen these people's methods before. At this moment, a purple light streaked across the sky from afar, and a scroll appeared in front of Feng Shaoqing. After Feng Shaoqing received it, he roared in anger. What's going on? Asked the leader of the Wind Clan. Feng Shaoqing clenched his teeth and closed his eyes. He said that the Purple Palace had sent a letter saying that they didn't want them to participate too much. What? The Purple Palace was abandoning them? The people from the Wind Clan's expression changed greatly. It shouldn't be. The Wind Clan was willing to stand on the Purple Palace's side. Please, the Purple Palace must support us fully, said one of the great sages standing next to Feng Shaoqing. Of course we want to help you, but the ceiling incident caused serious damage to our Violet Palace mansion. We can't mobilize too much power now. It can only be said that your luck isn't good this time. It's better to do as this kid says. Otherwise, if they really fought, the 81 islands of the Wind Clan would probably be destroyed. Damn it. No. The Wind Clan's great saint roared. The leader of the Wind Clan also clenched his teeth. Even without the Purple Palace, I can do it too. Do you think we don't have any trump cards? Go, use them. The Wind Clan was an ancient family with tens of thousands of years of inheritance. They definitely had trump cards, but they wouldn't use them unless it was a matter of life and death. The leader of the Wind Clan saw that it was a matter of life and death, so he had to use his trump cards. Endless runes appeared on his body as he used his bloodline power to the extreme. He took out the seal of the Wind Clan. The other 5 great saints also stood in 5 different directions. They formed a formation to communicate with the power of heaven and earth. One of the mountains shone brightly. The ground cracked open, and there were endless divine crystals inside. There were many old men sleeping there. Buzz. At this moment, a saber light slashed across and split the formation into 2. The leader of the Wind Clan and the others trembled and spat out blood. Their faces were pale. Who dared to attack them? In the next moment, they saw a skinny old man who looked like a mummy walk over. The power of wind on his body was extremely terrifying. It was Elder Feng Yi. The leader of the Wind Clan exclaimed. The other members of the Wind Clan also knelt on the ground. Greetings, Patriarch. He was the oldest of the Wind Clan's experts who were still awake. In another 30 years, he would be sealed and become their trump card. He wouldn't participate in ordinary battles because it would consume his vitality and life force. However, he had made a move at this moment. Elder Feng Yi, why don't you let me use my trump card? The leader of the Wind Clan roared. Elder Feng Yi leaned on his walking stick and snorted coldly. You don't deserve to use your trump card. This time, it's all your own. No, everything I do is for the clan. All right, there's no need to say anymore. The trump card of the Wind Clan is for the true moment of life and death. It's not for you. Elder Feng Yi's eyes shone with a cold light. He walked over and looked at Lin Xian. I already know what you want from me, and I can't fulfill your wish. However, you have to promise me that after these people are dead, you can't bring people to attack the Wind Clan. Sure, but my request is that the 6 great saints, including the leader of the Wind Clan, must die. You don't have any objections, right? Elder Feng Yi closed his eyes and sighed. He had no objections. Chapter 4739. Upon hearing this, the people of Wind Tribe were stunned. Were they really going to let the 6 great sages die? This was a huge loss for any remote antiquity family. Those were great sages, but they had no choice. If the 6 great sages didn't die, more people of Wind Tribe would die. Elder Fengyi turned around and looked at the 6 of them. Why? Do you still want to fight back? To what extent do you want to implicate your tribe? He then looked at the leader of Wind Tribe and sighed. Do it yourself. You're the leader of a tribe. Die with dignity. I know. The leader of Wind Tribe had despair in her eyes. For the sake of her tribe, she had to die. She looked at the people around her and said, Do it. Let's give our descendants a way out. Did we really do something wrong? The faces of the people of Wind Tribe were filled with despair. Then, they started burning themselves. 6 balls of divine fire bloomed in the sky. They lit up the entire sky. The terrifying aura sent chills down everyone's spine. Eventually, they turned into ashes. Leader. The people of Wind Tribe knelt on the ground. Blood rained down from the sky. The 6 great sages of Wind Tribe were gone. Was Lin Gongzi satisfied? Elder Feng Yi looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said coldly, If there was a next time, it wouldn't be so simple. I'll destroy the entire Wind Tribe. Let's go. Those who had attacked him previously, regardless of whether they were great sages or kings, were all dead. Now that all of them were dead, his revenge could be considered complete. Therefore, he could leave now. Let's go. He turned around and left with the people of Pill Cauldron Sect and Eternal Life Hall. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon and Wu Yuan also left with their people. The group of them disappeared from Wind Tribe. The people of Wind Tribe were filled with despair. Elder Feng Yi looked at Holy Heavens Tribe and Golden Crow Tribe. Thank you for coming. The Wind Tribe will definitely repay you in the future. Then, he looked at the people of Z Mansion. Thank you too. If there's anything you need in the future, please let me know. Feng Shaoqing looked at the scene and sighed. It seemed that he wasn't the only one who had entered the Z government. In the future, the Wind Clan would also be on the Z government side. Phoenix stood on top of a divine island and was completely stunned. The Windfolk had lost 7 great sages, including their chief, because of a single young man. What kind of loss was this? Damn it, he couldn't accept it. He gritted his teeth, but there was nothing he could do. After this, the Wind Clan's strength would be greatly reduced. They would have to recuperate in the future. Furthermore, they would never dare to provoke Lin Xian again. Following that, the Holy Heavens race, Golden Crow race, and Violet Mansion race left one after another. News of this matter quickly spread. When everyone knew the result, they were all stunned. No way, the clan leader of the Feng clan is dead, and there are 6 other great saints as well. More than a dozen of the Wind Clan's divine islands had been destroyed. God, this Lin Wudi was too heaven-defying. Was there no one who could control him? However, the truth was also spread. Some people said that the Wind Clan deserved it. It was said that the clan leader of the Wind Clan had personally led 6 great sages to take Lin Xian's soul away. They even wanted to obtain the 9 sons' inheritance. Lin Xian was a passive counterattack, so there was such a thing. It seemed that the Wind Clan was really unlucky. This time, they had shot themselves in the foot. It seemed that they couldn't touch Lin Xian in the future. Countless families were shocked. Although Lin Xian was full of treasures, the price to pay for provoking him was too high. Lin Xian had stirred up a storm in Taiching Ancient City. At this moment, everyone was in awe of him. Those ancient families and peerless sects dared not touch him. On the other hand, Lin Xian and the rest did not leave. They hid in the void, as if waiting for something. Countless flames soared into the sky in front of him, forming one golden crow after another. These people were the powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan who had left the Wind Clan. At this moment, they were rushing back to their clan. Then, in the next moment, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Countless terrifying auras sealed the surroundings. Who are you? The powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan roared. I've said it before. If you dare to touch me, I'll make you regret it. Since you're going to help the Wind Clan, then go to hell and meet up with the clan leader of the Wind Clan. Lin Xian walked out and said coldly, Damn kid, it's you. Run. The great sages of the Golden Crow clan turned green. They didn't expect that the other party would intercept them halfway. Damn it, the other party had far more great sages than them. They were no match for them at all. Run. These great sages fled in all directions, but how could they escape? In this battle, the powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan who had rushed to help all died. Their souls were destroyed, but their bodies turned into delicious barbecue. They were taken away. Not long after, news came from Taiching Ancient City that several great sages and powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan had also died. No one knew who did it. Countless people were shocked when they heard the news. They had already guessed that it must be Lin Xian who did it, but they didn't have any evidence. After the Golden Crow clan learned about it, they were about to go crazy. However, they could only go crazy with anger and didn't dare to attack. The current Lin Xian was really powerful to the extreme, and he could suppress the clan of the ancients. If they wanted to take revenge, they could only find an opportunity in the future. Lin Xian and the others returned to Pill Cauldron sect. They started a banquet. Yi Wudao was waiting at Pill Cauldron sect. When he saw Lin Xian, he said, "It's great that you're fine." Lin Xian walked over and said, "It's all thanks to you this time. You saved my life. If you need anything in the future, just tell me. I won't frown. We're brothers, so this is nothing." Yi Wudao smiled. "Yes, that's right. Good brother, let's have a drink." Lin Xian laughed and pulled Yi Wudao to drink. The powerhouses of the Mountain Sea Palace, Gu family, Longevity Hall, Fire God Palace, and other sects didn't leave. They drank and chatted together. Lin Xian thanked them one by one. This time, it was all thanks to them. Otherwise, he would have been in danger. The Crimson Dragon, Toad, and Whitey gathered together and drank happily. As for their food, it was naturally the freshly killed corpses of the Golden Crow Grand Sage. They were as big as mountains and contained endless energy. Not only was it delicious, but it could also increase their strength. After this meal, everyone's body shone brilliantly, as if they had ascended to immortality. Everyone gathered for half a month before the sects said goodbye one by one. The Longevity Hall, Fire God Palace, and Gu family brought some of their powerhouses back to Mount Eternal. Lin Xian promised them that he would go to Mount Eternal in the future and help them pick immortal herbs. The powerhouses of the three sects were very grateful. On the other side, Lin Xian also met Elder Wu Yuan. The Mountain Sea Palace's help had also played a big role in this. Elder Wu Yuan said with a smile, "You're a member of the Mountain Sea Palace. Naturally, I have to help you. The disciples of the Mountain Sea Palace are not to be bullied by anyone. Little guy, I have high hopes for you." Elder Wu Yuan also thought highly of Lin Xian. He was a young genius who could become an unparalleled existence in the future. He might even enter the Emperor realm. The Mountain Sea Palace naturally had to support him. Chapter 4740. Wu Yuan Palace Lord invited Lin Xian back to the Mountain Sea Palace. Lin Xian was wondering if he should go or not. Anyway, he had already caused two huge storms here. The Wind Clan and Zifu Clan probably wanted to kill him. He wouldn't give them a chance. He was ready to go. At this moment, the Crimson Dragon came over and said, "I'll go too. Kid, you have to go back to the Dragon Clan with me. The Black Sea Dragon Clan is our neighbor, so it's on the way." Wu Yuan Palace Lord smiled. Indeed, the Mountain Sea Palace relied on the mountains and the Black Sea on the other side. "Okay, let's go together." Lin Xian nodded. Then, he looked at Yi Wudao and asked, "Wudao, where are you going next?" Yi Wudao said, "I came out to cultivate. Now that I've seen the geniuses in Taiching Ancient City, I'm going to another city. Holy Abyss Ancient City. This city was stronger than Taiching Ancient City, and there were more geniuses there. Brother Lin, come after you're done." Holy Abyss Ancient City? Lin Xian took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll go." Then, Yi Wudao left. He went to Holy Abyss Ancient City alone. Lin Xian said goodbye to the people of Danding Sect and returned to the Mountain Sea Palace with the Crimson Dragon, Toad, Elder Ruachan, Wu Yuan Palace Lord, and the others. Danfeng waved her hand and said, "Lin Xian, I'll also go to Holy Abyss Ancient City. We'll meet again then. Let's go." Wu Yuan Palace Lord waved his hand, and the space beast enveloped them and they disappeared. Great sages were very fast, and they didn't have to worry about being attacked. Lin Xian asked, Ruzalong, why do you want me to go back to the Dragon Clan with you? The Crimson Dragon said, other than not seeing you for a long time, there's something I need your help with. It's a long story. I'll tell you later. Lin Xian nodded and closed his eyes to cultivate immortality and indestructibility. They didn't say anything along the way. They returned to Shanghai City and arrived at the Mountain Sea Palace. Greetings to the Palace Master. When the people of the Mountain Sea Palace saw Elder Wu Yuan return, they respectfully bowed. It was that Lin Xian. Had he also returned with the Hall Master? Countless people looked at Lin Xian. When they looked at the Crimson Dragon, they were surprised. Some of the demon beasts they had subdued started to roar anxiously. Hall Master, who is this? Many elders walked up and asked. Palace Master Wu Yuan said, let me introduce you. This is the young clan leader of the Black Sea's dragon race. He is our neighbor. The young master of the Dragon Clan and the elders of Mountain Sea Palace were all shocked. Furthermore, their bloodline was definitely heaven-defying. It was no wonder that the demonic beasts they had subdued were so terrified. This was the suppression of the dragon bloodline. The Mountain Sea Palace held a welcoming dinner for Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. After Xiao Shiyu received the news, she rushed over as well. When she saw Lin Xian, her eyes turned red. Why didn't you come to see me for so long? Did you forget about me? Lin Xian said with a smile. How could that be? Didn't I come back? The toad at the side revealed a strange expression. Not bad, kid. Another one is here. Go away. Lin Xian kicked the toad away. Next, Lin Xian accompanied Xiao Shiyu in the Mountain Sea Palace for a few days. Finally, he went to the Xiao clan. He paid a visit to the Xiao clan's clan leader, Xiao Mu. Then, he left the Mountain Sea Palace and headed to the Black Sea with the Crimson Dragon and the Toad. The entire buried Emperor Star was divided into 4 seas and 8 desolates. The Black Sea was one of them, and it could be said to be the largest one. The Black Sea was boundless, and there were too many demon beasts hidden in it. The Black Sea's dragon race. It was one of them, and it was an existence equivalent to a supreme overlord. The group of people shuttled through the bottom of the sea. With the dragon race's experts leading the way, a dragon that was tens of thousands of meters long roared. The surrounding sea demons all prostrated themselves, and no one dared to step forward. All right, Ruzalong, you can speak now, right? The dark red divine dragon said, I invited you here because I want to borrow something from you. Kid, how many eyes of time are left? There are 4 left. What's wrong? Lin Xian sighed. You can't be thinking of using the eyes of time, right? Although this thing is very magical, it's probably useless at our realm. We can only blame ourselves for killing that time serpent. Otherwise, if he had grown to the sage realm, the eyes of time would have been more useful to us. Lin Xian had used the eyes of time to recover before, and the effect was very good. However, at that time, he was only a king, not even a sage. Now, he had already reached the sage realm, and the gap between the two of them was too big. The eyes of time were no longer useful. Otherwise, he would have taken it out and given it to Xia Juyo. However, Xia Juyo's realm had surpassed ordinary great sages, and the eyes of time were probably useless. Unless it was a great sage-level eye of time, it would be useless. However, that kind of thing no longer existed in the ancient era. I know that too, but there's still a trace of hope. At least, we have to know who the murderer is. Next, the Crimson Dragon explained in detail, and Lin Xian understood after hearing it. The Crimson Dragon was from the Divine Dragon Clan of the Dragon Clan. Its identity was very special and very rare. Although it wasn't a member of the nest of 10,000 dragons, its status in the entire Dragon Clan was extraordinary. The Crimson Dragon's father came from the Black Sea and went to other worlds. Now that the Crimson Dragon had come to the buried Emperor Star, it wasn't long before he was sensed by the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea. When they sensed the divine dragon bloodline, they immediately brought the Crimson Dragon back. Furthermore, they conferred him the title of Young Master of the Dragon Clan. All of this was originally very good, but the current Dragon Clan was surging with undercurrents. All of this was because of the nest of 10,000 dragons. In the dragon clan, the nest of 10,000 dragons was in existence that had produced a great emperor. In particular, the other party had left behind an emperor who had awakened a few years ago. Now, he had grown to an unbelievable level. The goal of this emperor was definitely to become the Dragon Emperor and unify the Dragon Clan of the Myriad Worlds again. The Dragon Clan of the Black Sea was very strong, so they were naturally targeted by the nest of 10,000 dragons. Originally, the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea wasn't afraid because they had a top genius, the previous young master of the Crimson Dragon, called Longguang. He was very terrifying. However, he had fallen in Holy Abyss Ancient City. This made the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea go crazy. They sent countless experts to investigate, but in the end, they still didn't know who had done it. They had suspected a few people, but there was no evidence, so the matter was left unsettled. However, the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea never gave up. After the Crimson Dragon arrived and learned of this matter, he thought of Lin Xian. He wanted to see if there was a way to use the Eye of Time. At the very least, it would be good to get some clues. Lin Xian understood after hearing this. Don't worry, the two of us obtained the Eye of Time together. I will do my best to help you. Chapter 47-41. Their speed was very fast. 10 days later, they slowed down. Endless rays of light appeared in front of them, and a dragon palace appeared at the bottom of the sea. What a terrifying aura! Lin Xian was surprised. He felt that the great dragon sword soul in his body had become excited and was letting out dragon roars. We're here. Let's go. Treat this place as your own home. Don't stand on ceremony with me. The Crimson Dragon waved his hand. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked over. Little White also jumped out and said, Ruzalong, is there anything delicious? The Crimson Dragon said, there are enough top-grade spirit fruits. That's good. Little White's big eyes narrowed into crescents. The guards in front walked over and greeted the young master. They were incomparably respectful. Open the array. The Crimson Dragon waved his hand and said. The guards formed seals and opened the array. The group walked in. When Lin Xian walked over, they were extremely curious. Why did the young master invite a human over? And they seemed to have a good relationship? They carefully sensed. Then, when Lin Xian walked past them, their bodies trembled. A hint of fear appeared in their eyes. Damn it, what's going on? The other party had an aura that suppressed their dragon blood. This is impossible. This can only happen to the young master. The young master's bloodline is very terrifying. How can this person have such a terrifying aura of the Tao of Dragon? They didn't know that this was the power of the great dragon sword soul, but they became incomparably respectful to Lin Xian. This was the respect for a powerhouse. The dragon race lived in the Dragon Palace. In addition, some of the guards were powerhouses of the dragon race. Some were other sea demons, such as shrimp soldiers, crab generals, various fish, and so on. These people were very strong, and they had submitted to the dragon race for generations. The surrounding buildings were even more strange. They had a unique style of the sea. The Crimson Dragon shuttled all the way. After entering, he transformed into his true form. He was very fast. At the same time, he shouted, Old men, come out. I've brought the people back. In the distance, some old figures walked out from the palaces and pavilions in the sea. The aura of the Tao of Dragon on these people was very terrifying. They were obviously at the great sage level. With a single step, they arrived beside him. After greeting the young master, they first bowed to the Crimson Dragon, then looked at Lin Xian. This must be the friend you were talking about. After greeting his seniors, Lin Xian didn't dare to be arrogant. These were all great sages of the dragon folk. He bowed respectfully to the elders. Young man, you don't have to be so courteous. You're a friend of the young master, so you're a friend of the Black Sea Dragon race. These great saints all looked at Lin Xian and nodded slightly. Suddenly, they froze, their expressions shocked. From Lin Xian's body, they could sense an extremely powerful aura of the Tao of Dragon. What was going on? They were stupefied. You're from the dragon race? Lin Xian shook his head. Another elder of the dragon clan asked. Then have you consumed dragon blood before? Or have you cultivated a divine ability of the dragon clan? Lin Xian shook his head again. The Crimson Dragon said, "Stop guessing. He is the descendant of the Great Dragon." Boy, these people are very reliable. Since the Crimson Dragon said so, Lin Xian didn't hide it. He waved his hand, and the shadow of the Great Dragon's sword circled around him. A terrifying dragon chi swept across the 9 heavens. The surrounding elders of the Black Sea's Dragon Clan were shocked. The legendary Great Dragon Sword was actually obtained by a human? No wonder it had such an aura. This pressure was not weaker than the young master's bloodline. The elders were extremely shocked. After Lin Xian retracted it, he said, "Senior, do you want to borrow my Eye of Time?" As he spoke, he waved his hand and took out an Eye of Time from his storage ring. A mysterious power bloomed. When the surrounding people sensed it, they gasped. The power of time had always been mysterious. Lin Xian sighed. "To be honest, I obtained this Eye of Time many years ago. The Serpent of Time that I killed was only at the king level, so the effect of the Eye of Time was limited. I hope that the elders can be mentally prepared." A great saint sighed. "This matter has happened for several years, and we have long accepted it. Long Guang's body and soul were destroyed, and not even a remnant soul was left. There was no hope of resurrection. We just want to find clues to the murderer and avenge Long Guang. Then, there's no time to lose. Let's start. Little friend, this way please." The group walked in. The other dragon generals were guarding outside. After entering a large hall, the supreme elders of the dragon race performed hand seals and tore open a crack in the wall. Then, a strange space appeared. "This is?" Lin Xian was surprised. What a terrifying method. The great elder said that this is the place where Long Guang died. We sealed it and brought it back. The space wasn't big, with a radius of 10,000 miles. It had the aura of the Dragon Clan. Obviously, the Dragon Clan's expert died here. After Lin Xian walked in, the Crimson Dragon and the elders of the Dragon Clan also walked in. They took out the Eye of Time, activated the spell, and placed it in the void. Immediately, the surrounding world spun, and time flowed backward. A mysterious aura filled the air. Gradually, an image appeared between heaven and earth. The originally shattered blood mist gradually condensed, forming a shadow. It was very blurry, but the elders of the Dragon Clan cried out in surprise. The great elder's pupils constricted. It was Long Guang. It was really useful. They were shocked. Time seemed to have flowed backward. The scenes that happened to Long Guang appeared again, but the voice was a little blurry. Lin Xian was also surprised. He discovered that Long Guang had been tricked here. Then, a few great experts appeared in the surroundings and sealed the entire world. Then, a figure descended. Those people attacked together and killed Long Guang. Damn it! Who was it? The Dragon Clan powerhouses gritted their teeth and roared. Their eyes were red. The Crimson Dragon also frowned. "I can't see clearly." "Kid, can you see more clearly?" Lin Xian said. "I'll give it a try." He took out another Eye of Time and activated it with all his might. Immediately, another wave of time power flowed out. Lin Xian said, "I can't make everyone appear, but I can make one of them appear." The great elder pointed at a figure opposite Long Guang and said, "It should be him. He should be the leader. Try your best to restore his appearance." Lin Xian said, "I understand." He controlled the power of the 2 eyes of time and enveloped the figure. The figure gradually became clear, and everything else became blurry. It was a handsome man with outstanding facial features. Dragon chi surrounded his body. It could crush the heavens. He was like the supreme dragon emperor, so powerful that people looked up to him. Who was this person? What a terrifying Dragon Clan bloodline. Lin Xian was shocked. Even though it was just a scene of time, he still felt a chill down his spine. After the elders of the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea saw it, their pupils constricted. Damn it, it was him. Chapter 47-42. Who is this person? Lin Xian was shocked. Do the people of the dragon race know him? The great elder of the dragon race gritted his teeth. He was Long Wu from the nest of 10,000 dragons. He was also the son of the Dragon Emperor. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. The son of a great emperor? Is he an imperial prince? It was too unbelievable. No wonder he was shocked by the scene. The other elders also roared. It was indeed the nest of 10,000 dragons. Damn it, they would definitely not let them off. The power of the Eye of Time disappeared and the two eyes shattered. The scene slowly dissipated, but they already knew who the murderer was. A few elders of the dragon race rushed over and roared at the sky, commanding the dragons. At this moment, the entire dragon race of the Black Sea was alarmed. What caused such a change? One figure after another rushed over. They all asked, "Is there a strong enemy?" Those elders gritted their teeth. At this moment, they wanted to gather all the dragons and kill the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, the Crimson Dragon flew over and said, "Old men, I advise you to calm down. The nest of 10,000 dragons is stronger than us. They have an extreme Tao Emperor weapon and are more terrifying than us. If you act rashly, the entire dragon race of the Black Sea might be destroyed. Is this what you want to see?" As the Crimson Dragon's voice sounded, the elder's eyes gradually returned to normal. "Damn it," an elder stood out and said, "If there's nothing else, you can all go back." The surrounding dragons left. A few core elders gritted their teeth. "Are we not going to take revenge?" "Revenge. Of course we have to take revenge. But now is not the time for a decisive battle. Since I am the young clan leader of the Black Sea Dragon race, this revenge is also mine. I will go to Saint Distant Ancient City and kill that guy." "No, the young clan leader is too dangerous." The great elder shook his head. They had already lost a young clan leader. If another one died, the loss would be too great. After all, there were too few people with a bloodline like the Crimson Dragon. "Don't worry, I am not alone. This kid will go with me. Especially since this kid has the great dragon sword soul. He can be considered half a member of the dragon race. If the two of us join forces, I don't believe that we can't take him down." "Young master, it's not that I don't believe you, but the gap between us is just too big. He was an imperial prince with an extraordinary bloodline. He was a saint when he was born, and now he was already standing at the peak of the Saint King realm. He would soon become a great sage. Moreover, it was said that his battle prowess was no weaker than that of a great sage. Furthermore, he had already ascended to the 90th level of the Sacred Gulf Tower and would soon be crowned the champion. Such a character was simply undefeatable. We don't stand a chance in a one-on-one battle, and if you want to attack him, that's even more impossible. He has even more experts of the Tao of Dragon by his side. Unless we use the power of our entire clan, we won't stand a chance." Was that guy really that terrifying? The Crimson Dragon gasped. Lin Xian was also surprised. Although there were many words in it, he did not understand what they meant. However, Prince Guang's identity was different. He knew that this Long Wu was extremely powerful. Most likely, he was even more talented than Leaf Dao Dinier, Light, and the others. Moreover, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had been revived from the true spirit world. It had only been a few years, yet the other party was already close to becoming a great sage. His speed far surpassed theirs. One had to know that Lin Xian's own cultivation speed was already heaven-defying. How many inheritance treasures did he have? Yet, he still couldn't compare to the Emperor's. The identity of the Emperor's son was truly terrifying. The Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. "Although that guy is terrifying, I won't give up so easily. Besides, even if you really want to attack the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, you have to be fully prepared. I'll go to Holy Abyss City first and meet that guy to buy time for you. It won't be too late to make a move when you're fully prepared." Lin Xian also said, "I'll go too. I haven't seen the real Emperor's son yet. One day, I'll fight him." Indeed, if he wanted to become a great emperor, Lin Xian would definitely clash with the other party on his emperor's road. Besides, the other party was the Crimson Dragon's enemy, so he was his enemy. The Grand Elder and the others still disagreed. The Crimson Dragon argued for a long time before they agreed. They could go to Holy Abyss City, but they had to be careful and not rashly attack him. "Give us some time. We'll definitely not let him off." Next, Lin Xian and the others went back to rest. After the Crimson Dragon arrived, Lin Xian asked, "How much do you know about that guy?" "Tell me." The Crimson Dragon said, "I don't know either. I only know that he has only been awake for a few years, but he's already so terrifying. His bloodline power is probably beyond our imagination or even our understanding. If you meet him, you have to be careful. He might snatch your great dragon sword soul." Lin Xian said, "Sooner or later, I'll fight him. No matter if we have grudges or not, we'll meet in the battle for the Emperor's Road." However, he frowned and said, "I don't understand some of the things you said before. What does the Holy Abyss Tower mean? What does the coronation mean? What does the crown mean? Let me tell you." The Crimson Dragon sat down and drank spiritual wine while eating barbecued meat. Then, he told Lin Xian everything. Lin Xian was surprised after hearing it. Holy Abyss Ancient City was also an ancient city, but it was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were even more ancient families and peerless sects there. There was also a divine object in Holy Abyss Ancient City called the Holy Abyss Tower. It had been passed down since ancient times. No one knew who created it, but it was very mysterious. It was said that Holy Abyss Ancient City was named after it. This was somewhat similar to Qingquan Ancient City. Qingquan Ancient City was related to Emperor Qingquan, and Holy Abyss Ancient City was related to the Holy Abyss Tower. Lin Xian guessed that it was very likely to be related to the ancient Emperor Qingquan. The Holy Abyss Tower was a trial and cultivation place. After entering, one would be trained and challenged. If one succeeded, they would obtain heaven-defying opportunities to increase their cultivation and strength. The Holy Abyss Tower had a total of 99 floors. With each level, the difficulty would increase. Even a top-notch expert would only be able to climb a few dozen levels. Once one completed all 99 floors, they would be crowned and become the Crown King. This was an unparalleled honor. In history, anyone who passed the 99 floors and became the Crown King could be said to be the top geniuses of the world. No one could surpass them. In the future, they would also become a heaven-defying expert, sweeping through a region and being recorded in history. This was equivalent to the most supreme glory and the proof of one's talent. The Toad was also surprised after hearing it. Crown King? Was there a double Crown King? Triple Crown King? The Crimson Dragon nodded. "Don't tell me there is. What's going on?" Lin Xian was also surprised. Was the Triple Crown King successfully reaching the top 3 times? The Crimson Dragon nodded. "That's right, it's successfully reaching the top 3 times. However, it's not the 3 times you think it is. After successfully reaching the top and becoming the Crown King for the first time, entering again would be 10 times more difficult than before. If one could still reach the top like this, it would be the Double Crown King. The difficulty of entering the Double Crown King would increase by 20 times. Reaching the top again would be the Triple Crown King. Becoming the Crown King was already as difficult as ascending to the heavens, let alone the Double Crown King and the Triple Crown King. Chapter 47-43. Then, has anyone ever broken through to the first crown? How many crowns were there? In history, there were indeed people who broke through to the first crown, double crown, or even triple crown. Of course, the highest was the last great emperor from 40,000 years ago, Emperor Qing. He was the 10 Crown King. 10 Crown King. Lin Xian gasped. Didn't that mean that the other party had entered 10 times and successfully reached the top? The last time was 100 times more difficult. No wonder this person could become a great emperor. Yes, it was heaven-defying. After him, there hadn't been a great emperor for 30,000 years. What level had Martial Dragon reached? Lin Xian asked. The Crimson Dragon thought for a moment and said. He had checked before, and it was said that he had already reached the 90th floor. It was only a matter of time before he reached the top and became the first Crown King. And it seemed that it wouldn't take long for him to reach it. As for how many crowns he could become in the end, it was hard to say. The Toad exclaimed, "Such a person should be unrivaled in the world." However, the Crimson Dragon shook his head. No, he had an opponent. There was even someone whose current record was better than his. What? That was impossible. Someone had surpassed the emperor. The toad was surprised. Even Lin Xian was curious. Who was it? Dark North. He had already reached the 95th floor. His identity was also extraordinary. He was Kuan Pengzi. He was the emperor's son of the great emperor of the Kuan Peng clan. Another emperor's son. Lin Xian was shocked. Holy Abyss Ancient City was too extraordinary. One had to know that the strongest in Taiching Ancient City was only the ancient desolate body. But there were actually two emperors in Holy Abyss Ancient City. This Kuan Pengzi was very strong, and he had awakened earlier than Martial Dragon, so he was stronger now. Everyone guessed that he might be the first to be crowned and become the first king in this generation. Speaking of which, we suspected two people of Long Guang's death. One was Kuan Pengzi, Dark North. The other was the Dragon Prince, Martial Dragon, because only these two people could threaten and kill Long Guang. What was Long Guang's strength before? Lin Xian asked. His cultivation was at the Saint King realm, and his battle record had already reached the 93rd floor of the Saint Origin Tower. If he didn't die, he would also become a champion. So powerful. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. No wonder those elders were so angry. He was indeed a top-notch genius. It was a pity that he had fallen. Kid, are you interested in going to the Holy Abyss Ancient City? When the time comes, we'll see just how magical this sacred Abyss Tower is. Lin Xian said. Of course he was interested. His eyes shone with a cold light. What kind of scene would it be to compete with the Crown Prince? These people are all in different sections. I wonder which sect you would like to join when the time comes. A sect? Aren't they all from the desolate ancient emperor clan? Lin Xian was shocked. Within the Holy Abyss Ancient City, there were three ancient orthodoxies that had been passed down for a very long time. They were the Tao sect, Heaven sect, and Earth sect. The Dragon Prince was from the Path sect. Kuan Pengzi had joined the Sky sect. After entering these three ancient orthodoxies, one would be able to obtain powerful resources. Moreover, these three orthodoxies had close ties with the desolate ancient families and the great sections. There were many experts in these orthodoxies. They were all disciples of the great sects and the desolate ancient families. They were all geniuses among geniuses. They could even create their own sects and forces. Among them, the force that the Dragon Prince had created in the Path sect was the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian's eyes lit up when he heard this. He was surprised that there was such a thing. He thought for a moment and said, since our target is the Dragon Prince, we should join the Path sect? All right, that's what I think too. The Crimson Dragon nodded and said, after resting for half a month, we'll set off. They were very close to the Path sect's recruitment test this time. The three orthodoxies would have a test every year. Those who passed would be able to enter and cultivate as disciples of the orthodoxies. Those who failed would have to wait a year and could only participate again in the third year. Ordinary geniuses were not qualified to enter at all. Only the top geniuses and experts could enter the three orthodoxies. Since the decision had been made, Lin Xian and the other two began to cultivate at the bottom of the sea. On this day, the first elder found the Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian and said, since you want to join the Path sect, we'll give you an opportunity to increase your strength, especially your dragon power. Young master, you might be able to improve your bloodline power. Then, the first elder looked at Lin Xian and said, young man, although you're a human, you have the dragon sword soul. It seems that you've merged with the dragon sword soul. This means that you have the dragon soul. You're half a dragon. This opportunity will be good for you. Thank you. Lin Xian was delighted. The opportunity that the dragon tribe of the Black Sea was talking about would definitely be good. The first elder said, young man, you don't have to thank us. We should be the ones thanking you. If it weren't for you, we would never have known who the murderer was. This time, we'll repay you for your help. The toad also wanted to go, but he wasn't a dragon and didn't have the dragon power, so he couldn't go. After that, he and Little White stayed here. The dragon tribe also provided them with many heavenly treasures. The two of them ate to their heart's content and forgot about the matter of fortuitous opportunities. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon followed the first elder forward. Soon, the surrounding figures became fewer and fewer. This seemed to be a forbidden area where no one could come. The Crimson Dragon said, "Damn, old man, you're not taking us to that place, are you?" Now, the Crimson Dragon had guessed where they were going. The first elder said, "That's right. This time, you have 10 days to enter that place. Whether you can get anything after 10 days depends on your luck." "What is that place?" Lin Xian was curious. The Crimson Dragon said, "Dragon Tomb." The Dragon Tomb was the place where the dragon tribe of the Black Sea was buried for generations. This was a forbidden area. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be opened. Only extremely terrifying dragon clan powerhouses could be buried here after their deaths. This was also a supreme honor. At this moment, Lin Xian and Little White entered the Dragon Tomb. In front of them, there was a stone tablet carved by millions of dragons, standing there. It was like the hand of a god guarding the Dragon Tomb. The aura on it was really too strong. The first elder held the dragon court walking stick in his hand to block this aura. The array around them flickered. The first elder stood in front and said, "I'm going to open the Dragon Tomb. You too go in. It can temper your dragon power and even strengthen your dragon power bloodline or physique. It's up to you what you choose." As he spoke, the dragon thunder staff in his hand bloomed with light. Endless array formations condensed and swept toward the million dragon steel in front of them. The million dragon steel bloomed with light, and the door of the Dragon Tomb slowly opened. A terrifying aura filled the air, accompanied by an extremely terrifying power of death. Chapter 47-44. The Dragon Tomb is open. You can go in. Hearing this, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon took a deep breath and quickly walked in. The aura inside was very terrifying. There were dragon shadows in front, and the door to the Dragon Tomb was closed. The light dimmed. "Kid, let's each go in a direction. I'll go this way." The Crimson Dragon waved and walked to one side. Lin Xian walked to the other side. The dragon roared in front of him, and in the next moment, a golden light flashed. A golden dragon appeared between heaven and earth. Its body was tens of thousands of miles long, as if it was a real divine dragon. However, Lin Xian knew that it was just an illusion, because these dragon clan members were all dead. In addition to the golden dragon, there was a purple dragon, a dragon with 8 arms, and a sword dragon surrounded by sword chi. There were all kinds of forms of the dragon clan here. Lin Xian summoned the great dragon sword soul and merged with him. The great dragon sword soul formed a dragon shadow outside him. At the same time, he circulated the dragon clan's breathing technique. He felt the terrifying killing intent around him disappear. Although it was very stressful, it would not take his life. He began to feel the aura of the dragon clan. Lin Xian took a deep breath. At this moment, he forgot that he was a human. It was as if he had become a dragon. He saw his body grow bigger, turning into 1,000 meters long. His body bloomed with bright golden light. He formed a golden divine dragon, baring his fangs and brandishing his claws between heaven and earth. This feeling was truly too wondrous. The great dragon sword soul also let out a roar. Lin Xian walked along, passing dragon shadows one after another. The deeper he went, the more terrifying the aura of the dragon clan was. There was a Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of him, standing between heaven and earth. Just the aura alone made Lin Xian unable to move forward. Lin Xian changed direction and continued to walk. However, there was a sword dragon in front of him that swept across heaven and earth. The terrifying sword chi made his hair stand on end. These dragon clan powerhouses must have been unparalleled heroes who swept through the world in the past. Now that he was dead, he still had such power. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and started to absorb the Tao of Dragon Aura. Gradually, he realized that his fusion with the great dragon sword soul had become even more perfect. It was as if the great dragon sword soul had become a part of his soul. This feeling could reduce the consumption of his great dragon sword soul. At the same time, he made another shocking discovery, and that was his bloodline. Lin Xian himself didn't have any amazing bloodline. However, after growing to this point, coupled with the fact that he cultivated the super physique, the nine young divine body, therefore, his bloodline had long contained boundless power. A drop of golden saint blood could crush mountains and rivers. This type of bloodline was an exceptional bloodline, and it could already be passed down. However, this was not Lin Xian's ultimate bloodline. At this moment, in the dragon tomb, his bloodline had undergone some changes. Other than the power of the Nine Sons' divine blood, there was also the power of the Dragon Clan's bloodline condensing inside. One had to know that the Dragon Clan's bloodline was unique to the Dragon Clan and had been passed down through countless generations. It was basically impossible for others to condense the Dragon Clan's bloodline. No matter how much dragon blood one swallowed, this bloodline couldn't be passed down. But now, Lin Xian's situation was different. He seemed to have really condensed the Dragon Clan's bloodline. No one would believe that a human could condense the Dragon Clan's bloodline. However, Lin Xian's situation was different. He had the great dragon sword soul and had even fused with it. In addition, there were so many terrifying auras here, so it wasn't impossible for such a bloodline to be born. Moreover, it seemed to be more than one type of dragon bloodline. It seemed to be the bloodline of 10,000 dragons. Lin Xian's body bloomed with endless light. The great dragon sword soul fused with him and let out a dragon's roar. Lin Xian's Dragon Clan's breathing technique made him completely turn into a god at this moment. The light on his body bloomed, and the surrounding Dragon Clan's phantoms all flew into his body and fused with it. On the other side, the Crimson Dragon also underwent a bloodline evolution. He was a member of the Divine Dragon Clan. Endless dragon aura surrounded him, causing his Divine Dragon bloodline to improve further. 10 days passed quickly. A low voice came from the dragon's tomb, and then it slowly opened. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon felt a force repelling them. They knew they couldn't stay any longer. Lin Xian looked at the surrounding Dragon Clan's phantoms and bowed deeply, thanking the Dragon Clan's seniors for giving him strength. The Dragon Clan of the Black Sea will always be my friend. If I'm lucky enough to reach the Emperor realm in the future, I can protect the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea and become the overlord for 10,000 years. Roar, roar, roar. As Lin Xian's voice fell, the surrounding Dragon Clan's phantoms roared loudly, and the 9 heavens and earth shook. Outside, the first elder and the others were waiting anxiously. Suddenly, a dragon's roar came from the dragon's tomb, causing their blood to boil. What happened inside? Could there be an accident? They were extremely worried. After all, a human had gone in this time. But fortunately, they soon saw Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon coming out safely. They heaved a sigh of relief. The dragon's tomb in front of them slowly closed, and once again fell into silence and deep sleep. What happened before? The second elder asked. The third elder also asked, "How was it? Did the young lord's strength improve?" The Crimson Dragon said, "Feel it." As he spoke, he activated the power of his bloodline, and the dragon aura on his body swept across the 9 heavens. Phantoms of divine dragons circled between heaven and earth. Great, he had indeed become stronger. His bloodline was now no weaker than Long Guang's. They were really overjoyed. The only difference between the Crimson Dragon and Long Guang was the difference in cultivation time and cultivation. In other words, if the Crimson Dragon had enough time, the Crimson Dragon would definitely be able to reach Long Guang's level in the future. He might even be able to grow indefinitely. Then, they looked at Lin Xian with anticipation in their eyes. They wondered if this human had made any breakthroughs. I was the one who caused the sound earlier because I promised the seniors of the Dragon Clan that in the future, I would reach the Emperor realm. I would also let the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea stand at the peak of the universe. This was a promise. After all, the dragon's tomb was a forbidden area of the Dragon Clan. Other than the clan leaders and young clan leaders of the past who could enter, no one else could. If one wanted to enter, they could only do so after death. Now that Lin Xian could enter as a human, this was simply a peerless gift from the Dragon Clan. The people of the Dragon Clan naturally knew that Lin Xian's strength and talent were unparalleled. They were also betting on his future. It was just that they didn't know if he could become a great emperor. However, when a 9 young divine body grew up, it could also sweep through everything. However, when they saw the scene that Lin Xin displayed, these people of the Dragon Clan were really stunned. Even the Crimson Dragon was shocked. Chapter 47-45. Behind Lin Xian, dragon shadows appeared one after another. There were golden dragons, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and other dragon shadows roaring. That aura was terrifying and mysterious. What was going on? The elders of the Dragon Clan were stunned. The Crimson Dragon also said, "Kid, you didn't swallow them all, did you?" Lin Xian said, "I didn't. I seem to have condensed the bloodline of the Dragon Clan." "Let me see." The Great Elder walked over, grabbed Lin Xian's wrist, and carefully sensed it. Then he said, "Can I see your blood?" Lin Xian nodded, cut his palm, and dripped a few drops of his blood. The golden blood was wrapped in a dragon shadow, and it let out a dragon's roar. There was really the power of the Dragon Clan in it. You actually condensed the bloodline of the Dragon Clan. The Great Elder was shocked. The powerhouses of the Dragon Clan were all stunned. How heaven-defying was this? The other party was just a human. The Crimson Dragon also came over and carefully examined it. Then he said, "It should be because of the Great Dragon Sword Soul. Kid, you really have completely merged with the Great Dragon Sword Soul this time." The Great Elder said with a smile, "Little friend, you will also be a member of the Dragon Clan in the future. I will confer you the title of Young Master of the Dragon Clan, and you will be treated like an elder." "Thank you, Senior." Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. With the Crimson Dragon and Lin Xian, the people of the Dragon Clan of the Black Sea seemed to have seen hope. After returning, in the hall, the Toad and Little White were sleeping there, and their bodies were emitting countless rays of light. These two guys had eaten so many heavenly treasures that they were about to vomit. "Get up, we should go." The Crimson Dragon kicked the two of them awake. "Don't disturb my sleep." Little White was very dissatisfied. The Toad also said, "The two of you are back." As he said that, he kept emitting rays of light. "Damn, why didn't you two eat to death?" The Crimson Dragon said with a look of disdain, "Look, my bloodline has increased." He released his dragon bloodline, and the Toad felt his hair stand on end. He then looked at Lin Xian and asked, "Kid, what about you?" Lin Xian smiled. "Try sensing it." He unleashed his bloodline power, and tens of thousands of dragon shadows floated around him. "What the F asterisk CK, you? What's wrong with you?" The Toad was stunned. Little White had also woken up. She blinked her large eyes and said, "I think I saw many dragons." Lin Xian said with a smile, "This is my newly condensed dragon race bloodline. In addition to my 9 young divine body, my current bloodline is called 10,000 dragon divine blood. How hateful. I want to go in too. I also want to condense the 10,000 dragon blood." The Toad roared. Lin Xian gave him a slap and stepped aside. The Crimson Dragon also laughed. "A toad like you is not qualified to enter the dragon tomb of our Dragon Clan. All right, get ready. We're leaving in 3 days. Our target is Holy Abyss Ancient City. This time, we're going to conquer that place." 3 days later, the First Elder and the others led them to activate the Super Teleportation Formation and tore open the Endless Void. They started the teleportation. They were close to Shanghai City, but they were far from Holy Abyss Ancient City. Therefore, it would take a long time to fly over. Perhaps they would miss this year's test. They directly used many resources to activate long-distance teleportation. When they came out again, they had already left the Black Sea and arrived in the vast mountains. They took out a map, asked for directions, and set off on the Black Earth. This way, they could shorten the time by several times. Holy Abyss Ancient City was very ancient and mysterious. It was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were countless powerful families and sects here. However, there were 3 places that were incomparably dazzling. They were the Taoist sect, the Celestial sect, and the Terrestrial sect. These three orthodoxies gathered all the powerful people in the world. Those who walked out from here. They were existences that could sweep the world. And this time, Holy Abyss Ancient City became incomparably lively because two things were going to happen. The first thing was that the Taoist sect was about to take the test. Countless geniuses who wanted to participate had to come to take the test. If they missed this time, they would have to wait another year. The second thing was even more shocking. Someone was going to be crowned as the Crown King. This was an earth-shattering event that would be recorded in history and looked up to by thousands of generations. When Lin Xian and the others arrived at Holy Abyss Ancient City, they looked at the huge city in front of them and felt emotional. Indeed, this scene was even more majestic than Taiching Ancient City. The Crimson Dragon frowned. That's not right. What's going on this year? Why are there so many people? It's a few hundred times more than before. And some people didn't even have the qualifications to take the test. Indeed, Lin Xian was also puzzled. According to the Crimson Dragon, the people that the three orthodoxies wanted to recruit were the best of the best. However, the people around them weren't weak. They just didn't meet the requirements. Toad stopped someone and said, "Brother, I don't know what's going on here. Are the three orthodoxies recruiting? Damn, where did this monster come from? He scared me to death." A fatty exclaimed. He said, "You guys want to join the three orthodoxies? What a joke." Toad was furious. "How dare you look down on me? Take my divine toad fist. How dare a puny demon be so arrogant in front of me?" That fatty was furious as well. In an instant, they displayed their powerful strength. They even took out dozens of weapons and charged at Yishiwen from all directions. "I'm not strong, but I'm rich." "What? My sacred weapons?" Those sacred weapons were indeed terrifying. However, Toad had eaten too many heavenly treasures recently, and his strength had increased greatly. He dodged all the attacks, charged in front of the fatty, and beat him into a pig head. "Brother, I was wrong. I'll change. Please don't hit me." The fatty immediately begged for mercy. He didn't expect this Toad to be so terrifying. "That's it. Say, why are there so many people?" Toad stepped on the fatty and asked coldly, "Brother, which mountain did you guys come from? You don't know about such a big thing?" The fatty was shocked. "Someone is going to be crowned as the Crown King." "What?" Toad jumped up. The Crimson Dragon was also shocked. Even Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. He had heard the Crimson Dragon say before, "Does this mean that someone has reached the top of the Sacred Abyss Tower?" The Crimson Dragon asked, "Who is it? Is it Dark North or Martial Dragon?" The fatty's scalp went numb. How dare you call those two people by their names? He didn't dare to call them by their names. Instead, he said, "It's Kuan Peng Zi." 6 days ago, he successfully reached the top and stood at the peak of the Sacred Abyss Tower. The heavenly sect wanted to crown him as the Crown King. His statue and name would be engraved on the Sacred Abyss Tower forever. He would be worshipped by future generations. Sure enough, it's Kuan Peng Zi. The Crimson Dragon took a deep breath. Previously, the other party had already reached the 90th floor. Now, he had finally reached the 99th floor. It seemed that the Dragon Prince would be there soon. He felt tremendous pressure. Chapter 47-46. Lin Xian also gasped. He had heard the Crimson Dragon talk about it before. The matter between the two of them. He didn't expect that now. They had just arrived at Holy Abyss Ancient City. They heard about Kuan Peng Zi reaching the top. As expected of the Emperor, he was really too strong. The ceremony would be held in half a month. Countless people were about to witness a miracle. Would you like to go and take a look? Half a month? Definitely. Based on their current time, they could finish watching this grand event first, then participate in the Dao School's assessment. There was still half a month left. Lin Xian and the others could take a good look at Holy Abyss Ancient City. "Brother, why don't we go together? I have been to this ancient city several times." The fatty looked at Lin Xian and smiled. The Toad and the Crimson Dragon seemed to be beasts. Only the kid in front of him was human, which made him feel very close. "This guy is so useless. We don't want him." The Crimson Dragon shook his head. The fatty's face turned green. Although he wasn't a heaven-defying genius, he was still a top-notch genius. He was actually called a piece of trash. However, he had to admit that these people were really strong and mysterious. Lin Xian smiled. Don't be so harsh. We are unfamiliar with this place. We need this brother to lead the way for us. The fatty's eyes lit up. Don't worry, with you by my side, I will pay for all the expenses in the ancient city. Then we won't stand on ceremony. The Crimson Dragon also smiled. The toad nodded. I don't know. What are the specialties of Holy Abyss Ancient City? Are there any old herbs that are tens of thousands of years old? The fatty was about to cry. These ancestors are too greedy. How should I address you? The fatty walked up. The fatty was called Nalan Liang, a young master of the Nalan family. The Nalan family was considered a top-notch family. Although it wasn't a remote antiquity family, it wasn't weak. To become a remote antiquity family, apart from having super strength and background, there was another characteristic, which was that it had been passed down for a long time. The Nalan family had only developed in the past few thousand years, so their background and strength weren't strong enough to become a remote antiquity family. However, the Nalan family had developed very rapidly recently. If they could continue, they would become a remote antiquity family in the future. Your name is Nalan Liang? Toad's face was filled with suspicion. This is a woman's name. Brother, you can't be a woman, right? Nalan Liang sighed. Back then, my father really wanted to have a daughter, so he had already thought of a name. Who would have thought that the one who was born would be me? They didn't change my name either. All right, don't mind these trivial matters. Let's go. I'll bring you to the most famous place in Holy Abyss City, White Crane Tower. It was extremely majestic, and it was very famous in the Holy Origin City. Its unique architecture and style made countless people yearn for it. The White Crane Tower was built from the corpse of a great sage. This great sage was a demon sage of the White Crane clan after his death. The corpses were perfectly preserved, and they were used to create this strange pavilion. When Lin Xian and the others arrived and saw this scene, they were also amazed. The pavilion in front was very spectacular. It was very tall, and one could tell at a glance that it was made of bones. It looked like the wings of a white crane. The design was really strange. Nalan Liang said, Brother, you don't know this, but this is really the corpse of a great sage. No way. The Crimson Dragon also went up to take a look, and then he exclaimed. As expected of the Holy Origin City, it was really extravagant. Of course, ordinary people couldn't enter this place. But I can bring you in. They walked forward. Stop, who are you? Seeing the Crimson Dragon and the others walking over, the guards of the White Crane Tower immediately moved out. This wasn't a place where ordinary people could come. When they saw Lin Xian and the others, they shouted coldly. At this moment, Nalan Liang walked out from behind and said, Why? My friends can't enter. So it's young Master Nalan, please come in. The guards immediately made way. Nalan Liang brought Lin Xian and the others in. Io, isn't this the young master of the Nalan clan? Why do you still have the face to come? You have already failed twice, and you didn't enter the 3 great inheritances. Now you are preparing for your 3rd failure? I think the Nalan clan's face has been thrown away by you. At this moment, a cold laugh could be heard. Nalan Liang was instantly enraged, and he turned around. So it's you? Damn you. Do you want to die? Behind him, there were a few men in white robes with long blades on their backs. They looked extremely cold, and it was obvious that they were top swordsmen. Shi Changfeng, didn't you fail the previous time as well? What right do you have to talk about me? Shi Changfeng laughed coldly. I wasn't prepared the previous time, but this time, I am fully prepared. I can definitely enter the Dao sect. F*CKU, I will definitely fail this time. Nalan Liang snorted coldly. Who doesn't know how to boast? With your strength, you think you can enter the Dao sect? Of course, because I have invited a big shot this time. Brother Lan, please come out. Shi Changfeng said respectfully to the private room beside him. A figure walked out from the private room. Fatty gritted his teeth. That was originally my room, but it was taken over by someone else. Who is this? Shi Changfeng laughed coldly. This was Prince Lansong from the Blue Clan. Seeing Prince Lansong, why aren't you kowtowing? It's actually someone from the Blue Clan? Nalan Liang frowned. The toad at the side asked, is this guy strong? He doesn't look like much. Nalan Liang sighed. The other party is from a clan of the ancients, so that's how it is. The Nalan clan is strong, but compared to the clan of the ancients, they are still lacking. The people from the heavenly saber manor shouted angrily. How dare you be so disrespectful to Prince Lan? Do you want to die? Shi Changfeng, who was leading the group, frowned. Nalan Liang, look at these strange clothes. They don't seem to be from the Nalan clan. If they didn't have any background, they would have fallen here today. You want to fight with us? Are you worthy? The toad sneered. The Crimson Dragon also looked at them from the corner of his eyes. A few ants, they didn't care about them. Shi Changfeng and the others were mad with anger. These people were too audacious. Lan Song frowned and said coldly, it seems like this is your first time in the Holy Abyss City. I'm afraid you haven't heard of the strength of the Blue Clan. The toad sneered. Is the clan of the ancients that amazing? It's not like we haven't fought them before. Isn't the Wind Clan also a clan of the ancients? Didn't they still get beaten down by them? What's there to be arrogant about? Are you sure you don't want to die? Lan Song's face darkened. He closed the folding fan in his hand, and a killing intent appeared. The people from the Heavenly Saber sect laughed. These ants, there's no need for Brother Lan to deal with them personally. Shi Changfeng waved his hand. Instantly, a top swordsman from the Heavenly Saber Manor walked over. Ignorant ants, I'll send you to hell today. He waved his hand, and a saber light flashed. Terrifying laws swept across the area. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.